potential, here we go again, being an Earth impactor on this date. Mark it down, February 14th, 2046. The impact map would suggest locations in Indonesia, the Pacific Ocean, southwestern USA, and then lower parts of the central United States. The asteroid came closest this time around on February the 18th of this year at a distance of, well, it's a good distance, 5.4 million miles. But the good news, here it is, it now has a 99.8% chance of a miss. But it's very early to really tell us in the future, but we talk about it. It has the near size of the asteroid or comet body, which exploded over Russia's Tunguska region. We all know this, back on June 30th, 1908. The heat of that event alone and fires of that great fireball were felt 40 miles from ground zero. That's similar to detonating a 12-megaton nuclear weapon. We'll keep you posted on this. In space, we talk about a mystery rocket test at Cape Canaveral that apparently has been canceled. Hypersonic rockets, we all know, and missiles are always in the news now. Now we learned of a possible launch of a hypersonic missile from Space Force's Cape Canaveral launch site in Florida. This test of a joint U.S. Army defense project known as the LRHW, standing for Long Range Hypersonic Weapon, that was set for March the 5th. The technical issues canceled the launch. Developed by Martin Marietta, this Mach 17 missile would be deployed in the battlefield from a modern launcher platform. The Navy is also interested in looking at this particular project and missile on submarine-based versions of the LRHW. Because here we go again with daylight saving time now in place over much of the U.S. and others. There are reasons on both sides to cancel it or keep it. And when will we ever agree on this and when? But also a very interesting date in history. This date on March the 13th, 1977, close to my heart here in Phoenix, Arizona, was celebrated to mark the 26th anniversary of the mysterious Phoenix Lights incident that we'll talk about today. With great interest. We wrap it up with the live sky, the moon at last quarter on the 15th, new moon on the 21st as we move into the vernal equinox on March the 20th, 5:24 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. Something to see. The moon is near 24th in the west at sunset. Always more information at theskylive.com. Emails, we love those. DrSkyShow@gmail.com. We say it, we mean it, and we love it. Always remember to keep your eyes to the sky. I'm simply your navigator on the highway to the heavens and the shows. And of course, George, looking to see you in the audience in Sedona this Saturday.
And Dr. Sky, with what's been going on and what's been happening these days, what do you think the latest is? What's going to happen?
As far as which, George, the asteroid?
The asteroid.
Well, I don't think that's going to happen. I mean, we talk about it only to let people know what science is predicting. But the reality of the situation is we hope and pray that the asteroid is not a hit. But we have a Bumpus coming down the pipeline pretty soon in 2029.
Right.
But it's always good to watch, not just keeping our eyes to the skies, but these scientists are doing a great job, and they're actually discovering more of these asteroid bodies sooner than later, which is actually good. So let's hope and pray that this is just a story to keep people's attention to a subject that we all know is important.
All right, see you Saturday night, Dr. Sky, in Sedona, Arizona. Tom will tell you a little bit about that a little bit later on this hour. In a moment, Mark Syker back with us. When he was with me back in 2022, we talked about Tesla, Wizard at War, and he was telling us about a book he was working on, which has come out now, called Ozone Therapy for the Treatment of Viruses. And he'll tell you how a Coast listener played a part in the development of that work in a moment on Coast to Coast.
And I know you're going to want some after hearing this. This guy who's 8, almost 9 years old now, was suffering with not just 1 or 2 warts, but I mean a significant outbreak of warts all over his body. So significant it impacted his ability to really function.
Yeah, he was having trouble even holding a pencil to write. That was Ty's book, actually, that got me thinking about it.
I'm not surprised. It is an amazing immunomodulator, and so I can see that it would work. And so at what point did you see that there was actually improvement, really going to work?
Well, we really started to notice it around 12 weeks. You can see these things actually getting smaller and smaller and then going down to where they're just little red marks. The whole things are gone. And we're talking about one the size of a walnut. I thought, no way that's going to, wow, that's just been miraculous. To see him get into a pair of shoes.
Yes. How wonderful.
It's great to see him so happy and
yes.
confident.
Absolutely wonderful. wonderful.
I for instance have seen it. I was blown away.
Hi, this is awesome. Yeah, this is awesome. Another amazing story. Why? We're talking about carnivora. Call them to awaken your immune system and protect yourself now. Call 1-866-836-8735. That's 1-866-836-8735 or visit carnivora.com. CARNIVORA. Carnivora.com.
For a limited time, it's back. The 1-ounce solid silver Ghana alien coin, part of the silver starter kit, exclusively at bullionmax.com/toast. With inflation on the rise and a teetering stock market, now's the time to diversify into precious metals that you can store at your home. Go to bullionmax.com/coast and they'll ship your silver directly to your home, fully insured. Now start building your wealth in precious metals at bullionmax.com/coast. That's bullionmax.com/coast. And welcome back to an incredible night here on Coast to Coast. George Norrie with you, Mark Seifer back with us, a graduate of the University of Chicago, Dr. PhD Mark Seifer, wrote his doctoral dissertation on the Nikola Tesla from Roger Williams University. Mark also is a handwriting expert, has lectured at West Point Military Academy, the Open Center in New York, Lucasfilm's Industrial Light and Magic, at numerous Tesla conferences here and abroad. His latest book is called Ozone.
Great. So great to be back here, George, and I have to thank you. You mentioned it already, but when I was on a year ago, this lady called me the next night. She was in her 80s, and she said, I got to tell you about this ozone book you got to know about. And I have like half a dozen ozone books. This is a little pamphlet written in 1951 called Ozone, God's Gift to Humanity. But in it, it was written in 1951. It gives me the whole history of ozone therapy and lists about 20 medical doctors and all the research that they've done through the years, treating things like TB, diphtheria, staph infection, sore throat. And it also discusses something which is hugely important now, and that is that the FDA has stated that ozone is a toxic gas with no medical application. And this book in 1951 goes into the history of why that's a mistake. What happened in the 1920s, these two scientists generated ozone from the air, just from the normal air. Air is 90%, 80% nitrogen, 20% oxygen. So if you have an ozone generator taking it from the air, you'll also produce nitrous oxide, which indeed is toxic. But in 1950, this guy said, wait a second, we should be producing it from pure oxygen, not from the ambient air. And so the original guy who wrote the original article in 1920 went back and redid it, created ozone from pure oxygen instead of from the atmosphere. And he said, you're right, we made a mistake. It's not toxic if you produce ozone from pure oxygen. And that has made a huge impact on the medical community. But this was discovered, 50 years, or more than 50. 70 was on your show.
That's amazing.
That's how amazing it is.
Well, tell us a little bit before we get into how you first really got into ozone therapy. What exactly is it, and how is it physically applied to people?
Yeah, ozone is just a different form of oxygen. And what's so incredible about what I've learned, every morning the sun comes up and hits the atmosphere. There's O2, which is oxygen. The cosmic rays from the sun convert O2 into O3. That's ozone. And the ozone raises up to the top of the atmosphere. A blue sky is a blue gas. So part of the reason the sky is blue is because of ozone. And so that's what's occurring. Now, once the ozone layer is created, it's created every day, it now absorbs the cosmic rays and protects us. So ozone is really just a different form of oxygen. And what ozone therapy is, it really is a misnomer. It's really oxygen ozone therapy. Most of what's injected into the bloodstream is oxygen, over 95%. Just a very small amount is ozone. So we call it ozone therapy, but it's really oxygen ozone therapy. And what it does is it purifies the blood and it stimulates the immune system. The most important finding that I found, and I think the FDA needs to know about this, in 2001, Paul Wentworth, who's a chemist at Scripps Institute, discovered that our own antibodies manufacture ozone. It's a disinfectant. So when we breathe in, we breathe in germs, viruses or whatever. We have to protect ourselves with our immune system, and our antibodies do that. And what I discovered is that and the reason that they work is because our own immune system is killing, the bad guys, the viruses that we pick up. So how do they kill it? We actually manufacture. Our immune system produces ozone and produces hydrogen peroxide.
Oxygen therapy, is it the same thing or different?
It's very similar. The difference is whether or not they use ozone or not. You can have hyperbaric chambers with ozone or just with oxygen. If with a little bit of ozone would be more beneficial than just oxygen.
And how do they apply it to people? Do they have masks on, or they put them in a chamber? What is it?
Yeah, you keep your head out of it. I mean, it's just, it's around the body, so you're not breathing it in. So that's one way to do it. The other way is injecting it. Another way is with a UV light. You can remove the blood, and then the blood goes into a chamber where ultraviolet light changes the bloodstream, produces more ozone into the bloodstream, and then the blood is reintroduced back into the person. So that's another way to boost the immune system functions.
How did you first hear about ozone therapy?
This is a far-out story, George. You got to go back to 1984. I was speaking at the talk about brainwaves, and what he had this top secret Tesla paper on particle beam weapons. And we were all amazed because we were all searching for this paper. So this is an amazing time. It was there because in 1896, Tesla invented an ozone generator. And what Dr. Freebot said, again, 1984, he said that he had a man riddled with cancer. And as a last resort, he gave him ozone therapy. And the tumors were shed, and he was healed. I put that in my first Tesla book, Wizard, in 1996. And that was it. I forgot about it. But when this COVID pandemic occurred, I Googled Freebot's name, and out popped a book called The Story of Ozone, written by 12 medical doctors. And so the FDA ozone therapists, medical doctors in New York and California. And now we've been in touch with ones in Ecuador, in Spain, even in China, in Italy, Sierra Leone. There are many medical doctors all throughout the world who are ozone therapists, and they're curing all kinds of viruses, including, of course, COVID.
That is remarkable, truly remarkable. And Tesla made his machine in 1856, you said?
1896.
What's 40 years, right?
Yes, a long time ago.
My God, how did he come up with this?
Well, one of his heroes was von Siemens from Germany, who had actually invented an ozone generator in the 1850s. And von Siemens is very famous for motors that he created in Germany. Germans still have that name there. And the ozone that he was creating, all you do is create a spark in the atmosphere, and that creates ozone. So we had a machine which did that. Lightning storms produce ozone. You know that fresh feeling after a lightning storm, that the air feels fresh?
Clean, yeah.
That's the ozone in the atmosphere. And what I also learned, if we didn't have ozone, there would be no life on the planet. Most of the atmosphere is most of the oxygen, about 20% oxygen. Ozone is just a tiny little percentage of the oxygen. But that tiny little percentage blocks the cosmic rays from hitting the Earth and protects us. And that's what the ozone layer is all about. So they were learning over in the 1850s, and what Tesla did was he built a better ozone generator than von Siemens built in the 1850s. That was in the 1890s. And by then, medical doctors were starting to use ozone therapy to treat various diseases like diphtheria, tuberculosis, many kinds of just anemia, vascular diseases, pneumonia, whooping cough. So all of that was happening at the turn of the century.
And was Tesla's machine being used?
Yeah, Tesla was a huge hero to the ozone therapists. When they found out, that's why I was so quickly accepted into the ozone therapy community, because I had written a book on their hero. Tesla was a huge hero to the ozone therapists. In fact, during World War I, the Germans were using it to cure people that had gangrene. You think of gangrene, that's the end. The guy's got to chop off the leg. But if you're using ozone therapy correctly, you can actually kill the bacteria will raise in.
Mark, we're going to take a quick break. We'll come back and talk more about your work, ozone therapy for the treatment of irises, next on Coast to Coast Radio.
Get daily show updates right to your inbox for free with the Coast Zone newsletter. Sign up today at coasttocoastam.com.
I'm attorney Darren Capanoki, founder of 1-800-NO-CUPS, reminding you to exercise your right to just shut up. 1-800-NO-CUPS.
KFI News on the hour, on the half, and when it breaks.
I'm Amy King in the KFI 24-hour newsroom. Another atmospheric river will roll into Southern California tomorrow and Wednesday. Forecasters say up to 3 inches of rain could fall in the valley and coastal areas, up to 6 inches in the mountains. The Biden administration has approved a huge oil drilling project in Alaska, reversing the president's promise that there would be no new oil drilling on federal lands while he's in office. The UCLA and USC men's basketball teams have been seeded number 2 and 10 for the NCAA tournament. The Bruins take on University of North Carolina in Sacramento Thursday. USC will face Michigan State Friday morning in Columbus. The Last of Us has hit another ratings high for the season finale of season 1. The post-apocalyptic zombie video game adaptation drew in 8.2 million viewers last night. The season premiere had an audience of 4.7 million in the U.S. Southland weather from KFI, cloudy with a chance of rain tomorrow morning. Rain likely in the afternoon, heavy at times, highs in the 50s to mid-60s. Rain should end by Wednesday afternoon. It's 58 in Diamond Bar, 56 Newport Beach. We lead local in the KFI 24-hour newsroom. I'm Amy King.
In Riverside, this is on the 91 West South at Madison. We have cleanup crews from an earlier crash, picking up the right lane there. Watch for some stop-and-go traffic from Arlington. Also in Riverside, this is on the 215 southbound at Box Springs. Conked out car that's taking up the right lane there. Watch for delays as you approach this area. Costa Mesa, this is on the 405 southbound right before Fairview. Running a break. KFI, this guy helps get you there faster. O'Brien Vance. This report is sponsored by 1-800-NO-CUPS Criminal Defense.
I'm attorney Darren Capanoki, founder of 1-800-NO-CUPS, reminding you to exercise your right to just shut up. It doesn't make you look guilty, it makes you look smart. 1-800-NO-CUPS, because no one looks good in handcuffs unless you're into that sort of thing. 1-800-NO-CUPS.
On Ice-T's Daily Game podcast, the cultural icon unveils words of wisdom and motivational quotes he's collected over the years. No punches are pulled, as Ice shares his sit back and say, I'm going to win this game and not go to practice. You still got to play that game. Faith and your mind is just not going to make it happen. Listen to Ice-T's Daily Game on the iHeartRadio app or wherever you get your podcasts.
Planning a spring getaway? This month, get 40% off Rosetta Stone's lifetime unlimited subscription and explore the world with bite-sized lessons in 25 languages, from Spanish and German to French and Korean, and even Portuguese and Turkish. Rosetta Stone prepares you for real-life conversations and will have you talking from your very first lesson. So visit rosettastone.com today for 40% off and get ready for the trip of a lifetime. Offer ends March 22nd. Rosetta Stone. How language is learned.
KFI AM 640.
The podcast Let's Start a Coup wonders, what if a secret cabal of the nation's most powerful people tried to overthrow the president? Explore how it almost happened to FDR in the 1930s in this darkly comedic retelling of one of American history's weirdest scenes.
And for you, Major General Smedley Butler, nothing will ever do the same. Why? Is it something bad?
Listen to Let's Start a Coup on the iHeartRadio app or wherever you get your podcasts.
There's nothing more irritating than going through self-checkout and the second item you put through, call for attendant. And lady comes over and goes, excuse me, you should have rung them up separately. I'm like, no. You should have more people here. The Tim Cudley Jr. show. What I should have done is put them in my pants and walked out and taken it for free. Live 4 to 7 p.m. on KFI and on demand anytime on the iHeartRadio app. I've been walking these streets so long, singing the same old song. I know every crack in these dirty sidewalks of Broadway.
Big song. Right? Oh, for sure. He's like a member of her family. Glenn Campbell kids. Like, you're shining on to me. Really? Yeah, our family drinks at campus under the table. Rhinestone cowboy. Bing, bing. I don't think they drink. Don't even know.
You're listening to Coast AM with George Norrie.
Now that's the way I'm going to sing that song in Sedona, but I'm not.
No, you're not.
Coming up, March 18th.
Yes, you could. You can practice in the next 2 days.
Not much too soon. Coming up.
Here it is. This is going to be so fun. March 17th through the 19th. It's a 3-day fun event called the Sedona Ascension Retreats event. We are part of that event. We are going to do a live stage
Remember when this was
show
working?
Saturday night, the middle night at the Sedona Performing Arts Center, a beautiful place. You got to come on out. We're going to have special guests out there. There's people speaking. There's nonstop music all 3 days. Workshops, sky watches. They'll take you out to the desert, to the red rocks, the temples. This is a fun event. So if you head over to coasttocoastam.com, all the info is right up there in the carousel.
Can you believe it is just days away now?
No, I really can't.
Oh, that's cool. So, yeah. And of course, in May, we're going to the Dolls area in Oregon.
Yeah, we're going to have a lot of fun. We're going to go to the amazing Granada Theater in the Dalles, Oregon. It's 84 miles east of Portland. So Portland folks, come on out. Dr. Sky Stephen Cates will be there. UFO abductee Travis Walton. If you don't know who he is, you're probably living under a rock, but he's so fun and it's great to listen to his story. And then from Animal Planet, Bigfoot hunter Matt Moneymaker. Tonight will include a live band, of course. We'll do a salute to the veterans like we always do. A live Q&A and just a fun show to be had for all. So come on out, and the info again is at the coasttocoastam.com website.
Yep, come on out indeed, folks. We'll have a great time. Here's something to build up your immune system.
HealthyLooking.com and Dr. Alan Millay bring 4 decades of experience in natural products for the exclusive stem cell wellness kit that works with your body's stem cells to assist your immune system. Here's Dr. Millay with more.
Whether it's physical activity, obesity, diet, smoking, low on hormones, stress, sleep disorders, or your age, can be supported by reducing inflammation and aiding the body to heal itself appropriately. A stem cell is a cell waiting to be told what it needs to be. If there is inflammation, that inflammation needs to be stopped. High blood pressure, high cholesterol, kidney disease, various types of cancer, depression, Alzheimer's disease, autoimmune disorders, osteoporosis, even fatty liver are chronic signs of inflammation and can be aided by supporting the body's ability to protect those cells that it needs. And that is the purpose of ImmuStem and AdaptoStem together, supporting the body to be the best it can be.
Dr. Millay, how will I feel after taking AdaptoStem and ImmuStem?
The ImmuStem is going to have an immediate effect, but I tell you, your immune system is starting to function better after 24 hours. You put AdaptoStem along with it, and most will feel it within 30 minutes.
Order now at HealthyLooking.com. The Stem Cell Wellness Kit from Dr. Millay protects your body's stem cells and will make you feel better faster. The Stem Cell Wellness Kit with AdaptoStem and ImmuStem and your free gift Relax Doll is only available at HealthyLooking.com or toll free at 800-563-3980. That's 800-563-3980 Wellness Kit at HealthyLooking.com. That's HealthyLooking.com.
Having repairs done in your apartment should never come with strings attached, like being harassed and constantly pressured for sexual favors.
My leaky faucet turned into the maintenance man asking, when are we going to get to know each other better?
I needed my air
You got
conditioner
a maintenance
but my
man?
building manager repeatedly kept coming into my apartment unannounced and without permission. My landlord told me my rent would be free if I gave him something in exchange.
Sexual harassment by anyone associated with your housing isn't just wrong, it's against the law.
The Fair Housing Act protects you from harassment, including someone making unwelcome sexual advances or refusing to make repairs because you deny sexual favors. If this happens to you, you can stop it by filing a complaint with HUD.
So I called HUD and filed a complaint against my building manager. No strings attached.
Fair Housing. The law is on your side. To learn more, visit HUD.gov/fairhousing. That's HUD.gov/fairhousing. If you fear for your safety, call 911. A public service message from HUD in partnership with the National Fair Housing Alliance.
Real people, real stories.
I have acute eczema. I have tried every cream and
No, you gotta
ointment
get
that
that
you can
one.
imagine.
Yeah,
It's pretty miserable. So I started taking carnivora, and at this point, I don't want to ever be without it.
Our little dog developed this lymph problem. The chemotherapy lasted for 6 months. He started developing more lymph nodes that were swelled up. So I thought I'd just try carnivora. The lymph nodes started to go down, swelling did. Then I took him into the vet to have him checked out, and there was no signs at all inside.
My cat had issues that developed in his eye, so my veterinarian said, you know what, just go ahead and remove the eye. And I heard the carnivore advertising, so I said, you know what, I'm going to order this product. They did all the tests. I kid you not, this product saved his eye.
Call 866-836-8735. That's 866-836-8735. Or visit carnivora.com. That's CARNIVORA.com.
And welcome back to Coast. George Story back with Mark Cypher as we talk about his latest book, Ozone Therapy for the Treatment of Viruses. I know that ozone generators, Mark, are being used to disinfect areas, but is the treatment of ozone therapy, is that legal or not?
Yeah. It's an ozone
Yeah,
machine.
definitely legal. The
Helps to
FDA
get
Title
ozone.
21 says ozone is a toxic gas with no medical application. That's the first sentence. But if you read further down, it's really against the misuse of machines. And it doesn't say anything about ozone therapy, but it does say, in fact, that if you can establish that ozone is being used safely, then that is a bad thing, but they secretly are allowing it at the same time. But what happened in April of 2020, right at the beginning of all this, they directed the FCC tell every single ozone therapist, these are medical doctors, regular old medical doctors, that they cannot advertise that they could disable the COVID virus with ozone therapy, or they will be prosecuted by the federal government. Oh my gosh. And so what I'm doing, I've been sending my book out to different congressmen. I heard back from Senator Sheldon Whitehouse, who's reading the book. I want Congress to deal with this federal regulation, Title 21, because it's saying ozone's a toxic gas with no medical application. Wentworth and Scripps Institute says that our own antibodies are manufacturing ozone. And of course, these are medical doctors that have been treating people with ozone therapy literally for 100 years. So there's hundreds of articles disproving this aspect of federal regulation Title 21. So I think that sentence needs to be rescinded. And I think people like Dr. Fauci need to look at the evidence from Wentworth and just speak to these medical doctors and see the studies that have been done. There's 2 clinical studies that I discussed in the book where one, which I thought was really dramatic, they gave ozone therapy to 9 COVID patients, and they gave regular, just normal treatment to the other 9 that did 18 COVID patients. The 9 that got ozone therapy were out of the hospital in 7 days as compared to 28 days.
Wow, what a difference.
Pretty dramatic.
It sure is. Where do we get your book, Ozone Therapy?
It's all over the place. It's online, and Amazon, Walmart, Barnes and Noble. It's really out there, and it's very interesting. One other thing I wanted to say has to do with, we learned how to fly by studying the birds. We want to learn how to improve the immune system, just study how the immune system works. And Mother Nature is telling us precisely how to do it. It manufactures ozone. That's what Paul Wentworth discovered it 20 years ago at Scripps Institute. I think he deserves a Nobel Prize. I think it's so hugely important, and I cannot believe that all these intelligent immunologists like Dr. Fauci, Dr. Walensky, Dr. J.H.A., that they're not studying this kind of evidence. It's so clear that ozone therapy is beneficial. The other thing I want no civilization left on this planet. That's why I wrote this book. It has to do with emerging viruses. We have to protect ourselves, and we have to realize that the FDA has made a huge mistake. Ozone is very beneficial. Without ozone, there'd be no life on the planet, and our own antibodies are manufacturing ozone. Viruses do not have the ability to self-repair. So what ozone does is it causes a tear in the lipid envelope, the outer skin of the virus. Once that happens, the virus dies. Our bodies can self-repair, but viruses can't, and that's how ozone works. And that's why two of the medical doctors, Dr. Rabbi and Dr. Rowan, went to Africa during the Ebola pandemic in 2014. Who would go to an Ebola pandemic, you know? That's how brave these guys were, but they knew what they were doing. They taught medical personnel how to treat Ebola. And fortunately, Ebola does not spread as easily as COVID. So had that happened, it would have been the end. It just would have been the end. So I'm talking about new emerging viruses. That's what it's important. You know, why doesn't honey get bacteria and mold and stuff? That's because the bees have learned to put a little hydrogen peroxide in the honey. I mean, it's that kind of thing. It's learning from Mother Nature. We learn how to fly by studying birds. We learn how to improve the immune system by simply studying what our antibodies are doing.
Why are scientists so concerned about our ozone?
Against us, and I've been working very hard. And I have to thank Intuition and George. I have to thank you. That you put me on the radio. It's been so important. And this lady who gave me this book has enabled me to figure out why the FDA regulation is wrong, based on a mistake that's been corrected. I don't know, but without the ozone layer, there'd be no life on the planet. What happened is, if you go back 100 million years, when plant life began to evolve, to create more oxygen in the atmosphere, then the sun would hit the oxygen, convert it into ozone, and then the ozone would rise up to the top of the atmosphere and block additional cosmic rays from hitting the Earth. The ozone layer is less than an inch thick. It's so unbelievable how fragile life is on this planet. And I believe in a higher being, a higher force. And when you study this, life is so precious on this planet, it's so fragile. So it's very important that we get off fossil fuels, that we don't pollute the atmosphere. We have to protect the ozone layer. Because without that, there's no life on the planet.
How did you end up being a handwriting expert too?
I read an article. It was actually a Cycling magazine article. I don't look at the pictures. I just read the article. And there was an article on.
Okay.
Yeah. The article on handwriting analysis. Dan Anthony was teaching in New York in school, so I went back to New York and studied for 2.5 years. And then when I went to the University of Chicago, I worked with a number of medical doctors studying handwriting in schizophrenic patients as compared to normal people. And then I started to do forgery cases. And then that's really how I got interested. I'm so fascinated that someone could be gone many, many years, like Tesla or Edison. You can look at their handwriting and tell a lot about who they are. So I'm fascinated by that whole concept. That's an expression. And I also think that our grade schools got to go back to teaching cursive handwriting. It helps, retrain the brain, psychomotor ability. It's like learning an instrument or learning how to play the piano or learning how to throw a football or frisbee. So it's a motor skill that's important to keep. And to get rid of teaching cursive writing, it's diminishing the cognitive skills in children. So there's so many levels to it.
Didn't the Associated Press ask you to analyze a Osama bin Laden handwriting?
Yeah, that was unbelievable.
What was that all about?
Well, in 9/11 was a horrible, thing that bin Laden did, and everyone didn't know whether or not he was alive or not. And the following year, there was a note sent to Al Jazeera in the Middle East, in the Arab countries, and it was signed by bin Laden. So the Associated Press called me up, and they said, "Is this his handwriting? Is he still alive?" And they came up here, and I analyzed the handwriting. I said, this looks exactly like his handwriting, but it's the kind of signature, kind of like a design. Well, someone else could do it, but I said, it looks very much like his. And it was the biggest story in the world, whether or not bin Laden was. Well, the very day that I spoke, I heard the most important story in the world was bin Laden alive. I'm on site, was going to say whether I was handwriting. And then the best like I became, and it knocked my
handwriting tell you about people?
It tells you about your entire personality. And in a way, it's kind of obvious. People have large handwriting in dental or outgoing. People who have small handwritings have a lot of, concentration. If it leans to the right, you tend to lean towards people. If it leans to the left, it's rebellious attitude. It's really, expression of the soul. It's, when we look at with how man evolved, through the hundreds of millions of years,
I bet they're all old
speech
ones.
is one of the reasons why we beat the Neanderthal men. They didn't have a good speech center. Handwriting is written speech. And so it is an expression of,
George
individual
has glass on you.
differences. I was looking at the new Paul Newman autobiography, and he said, I was just working on so intelligent man, extraordinary life of an ordinary man, something like that.
Can you tell us right away, Mark, when you look at
It's
his
like
handwriting?
we got extras.
Yeah.
George, this is
I'll
incredible.
tell you a funny story. I wish I'd be looking, in
Look,
the handwriting, and I was, you got a great sense of humor. He said, how do you know? I said, because I saw you telling jokes over in the corner. But, he cracked up laughing. But, you can't tell, you can tell attention to detail, you can tell if you're forgetful, like you forget to put your eyes. You can tell displaced aggression. Sometimes people have too much pressure, uneven pressure, or if the handwriting changes the slant, it often suggests that the parents have opposite views, so they're being pulled in two different directions.
oh man, that got her here.
Things you can really tell from handwriting.
If you had to give yourself a title today, what would that be? Author?
Pimp?
I like to think of myself as a scientist. I look at things and always do we want to study the immune system. I can't believe how complicated it is. I have a number of textbooks on the immune system. I can only read the first chapter. After that, it's too difficult. It's really, really complicated. But I think of myself as a scientist. I'm an author. I've written 4 novels as well. I am a handwriting expert. I have a case I'll be testifying next week in a forgery case.
Yes.
So I don't know. I do a lot of different things. And I'm an expert on Tesla. I love the Tesla story. Oh my gosh, it's such an incredible story.
When you analyze handwriting, do you need the original, or can you do it off a Xerox copy?
You'd like to get the original, but in this day and age, you often get PDFs emailed to you, and you do the best you can with the PDF. So you'd like to get the original, but you can tell it from regular.
Is it easy to forge somebody else's signature these days?
No, it's very hard, but you have to subvert your own handwriting impulses, your own muscle memory, and then take on someone else's. A Photoshop, you can cut and paste, but Photoshop is complicated as well because there's different densities. So if you take an original document and then you Photoshop, take another signature from another document, some of the aspects of that won't have the same density as the document that it's been put on. I just testified a couple of months ago where you could show clearly that it was a cut and paste job. So Photoshop has made my life a little bit more difficult, but it's very hard to forge. And we each have our own unique personality, and it's just a fascinating topic.
Does an individual's signatures change as they change?
Some people have variations in their signatures, and it evolves. A lot of executives come up with like a rapid signature that's kind of illegible, but then they can go back and write it more legibly if it's an important document, like a will, or a giant loan or something like that. So it depends on the person. Some people are more rigid, so they write it the same way over and over again. Some people are more flexible. Some people are more variable. Tesla's handwriting changed a lot. In fact, when he thought he received pulse frequencies from the Martians, now it's say the N in his name was very small. It's a very tiny N, and the T looked like an antenna reaching up. So his signature changes radically. And when his plans and war fell apart, his handwriting fell apart in 1906. So I showed that he had a nervous breakdown in 1906. But then his handwriting rebounded, came back. He was full blast, to his old self. He went through a horrible period, and you could see it reflected in the handwriting.
Can you tell if somebody's left-handed or right-handed through a signature?
The lefty goes from right to left. And so when you look at which way the people are always done, you can tell if they're lefty or right.
That's interesting. That's fascinating. And your work is fascinating. Mark's website is linked up at coasttocoastam.com. He's also on Twitter and Facebook. He's got a little social influence there. The book we're talking about tonight, Take to Get This Legal. What do you think?
I want Congress, the senators and congressmen to get my book, ozone therapy for treatment about. You're going to see that the evidence is so clear that this is simply enhancing what our own immune system is already doing. Our own immune system produces. One of the books that I read,
It is movie
if you stepped on a splinter, you would die within a day if we didn't have an immune system, because it multiplies rapidly. Our white blood cells are manufactured 100,000 per second. Our red blood cells 2 million per second.
Hold on for a second, Mark. We'll come back and talk more about your work. We'll take your calls with Mark Seifert in a moment, including, of course, if you want to talk about handwriting. We'll do that too.
The Coast website is now streamlined for mobile devices. Great news if you're a Coast insider or simply want to enjoy our website on your phone. Visit coasttocoastam.com on your iPhone or Android browser.
Hi everyone, I'm KTLA's Samantha Cortese, here to tell you your afternoons just got a lot smarter.
Putting live here in Press Line.
That's the latest here at Union Station.
Putting live here in Laguna Beach.
Seriously, KTLA 5 News is now live from 3 to 7 every weekday.
Really heavy rain come through.
We're covering more stories from more places more often with the Southland's most sought-after news team, the most local news in Southern California. KTLA 5 News. Join us weekdays from 3 to 7. Another reason why KTLA is LA's very own.
What a moment! Sunday on the CW. It's a party for an incredible start to the season in Mayakoba, Mexico. Live Golf returns to the U.S. Live from Tucson, Arizona. Live Golf is live all season long. It's the battle for the most prize money in golf history. It's Live Golf on the CW.
Are you ready for this?
Through Friday. Available on gas in New Jersey, Wisconsin.
Billy, your gas light's on. We need to stop and go up.
No way, Jen. Gas around here is too expensive. We can make it a little further.
Billy, listen to your big sister. You don't need to drive all over searching for the lowest gas prices. Do what I do and use Upside.
Upside?
Do you live under a rock, Billy? Upside is the hottest cashback app out there. It's free to download, and you get real cash back for every gallon of gas you buy. I use it all the time, and I've already made around $200.
You can make that kind of cash back just for buying the gas you have to buy anyway.
Yes, offering 25 cents per gallon cash back.
Okay, I'm stopping to download Upside and fill up my tank. Download the free Upside app now to earn cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code FRIEND to get an extra 25 cents per gallon on your first tank. You can cash out anytime right to your bank, to PayPal, or a gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code FRIEND for a 25 cents per gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code FRIEND for a 25 cents per gallon bonus.
KFI, AM 640, more stimulating talk. There's a lot of misinformation out there, and none of it is allowed here.
KFI.
And KOST HD2.
Los Angeles, Orange County. Live everywhere on the iHeartRadio app.
Here we go again. I'm Amy King in the KFI 24-hour newsroom. The National Weather Service says another strong storm with heavy rain and mountain snow is moving into the state. ABC's Rhiannon Alley says officials in Monterey County have expanded evacuation orders after an atmospheric river caused the Salinas River to overflow, flooding towns on its banks.
More than 3,000 in Monterey County have now been evacuated. First responders navigating the streets, searching for people stranded in submerged vehicles.
Pajaro River's levee was also breached Saturday by flooding from the atmospheric river. First responders and the California National Guard had to rescue more than 50 people. A man who barricaded himself inside a home for 2 days near La Puente has been found dead.
LA County Sheriff Chief George Valdez says calls came in Friday of a man shooting at people, and when deputies arrived, the man retreated into the home of his girlfriend in Belinda.
We know the suspect had a high-powered rifle.
Commander Tom Giacominico says soon after, SWAT arrived, and as of early yesterday morning, the man was still active.
Fussing and sending text messages about his ability to want to
But harm than us. Officials say the man was found dead yesterday afternoon from apparent self-inflicted knife wounds. Steve Gregory, KFI News.
A group of about 1,000 migrants in Mexico has been blocked from crossing a bridge leading to El Paso, Texas. U.S. Customs and Border Protection says the migrants were posing a potential threat to make a mass entry.
They were all in right gear. They were running with shields in their helmets.
Felixo Malero was at the border yesterday. He says he saw a lot of Homeland Security cars headed up to the bridge. Physical barriers were put in place to restrict the entry of the migrants at the Paso del Norte International Bridge. Border Patrol says there have been no reports of anyone breaking through. Maine's Lobstermen Association has sued an aquarium in California for telling customers to stop buying lobster mostly harvested in Maine. Last year, Seafood Watch put lobster from the U.S. on its list to avoid because of the threat posed to whales. The lobster industry in the U.S. is based mostly in Maine. The lobster industry says the aquarium's information is based on bad science and incorrectly portrays lobster fishing. It's asking the court to force the aquarium to remove defamatory statements from its website. Southland weather from KFI. Rain's expected to really start coming down by tomorrow afternoon. Highs in the 50s to mid-60s. Rain continues through Thursday afternoon with up to 3 inches expected before this one moves out. Partly to mostly cloudy Thursday. It's 54 in Dana Point, 57 in Long Beach, 54 in Ladera Ranch, 57 in Baldwin Park. We lead local in the KFI 24-hour newsroom. I'm Amy King.
In Grand Terrace, there is a full three-way closure. This is on the 215 northbound from Washington to the 10. Caltrans has all lanes shut down for road work until 5. And in Pasadena, we have good news. Earlier crash on the 134 westbound at the 210 has been cleared from lanes. Your drive is recovering in that area. Tarzana, there is a work zone on the 101 southbound from Tampa to Haskell. 3 left lanes going to be shut down for road work until 5. KFI and the Sky helps get you there faster. I'm Brian Vance.
Honey, is our car still under warranty?
No, not anymore.
My sister just got an extended service plan from Ox Car Care.
Ox Car Care?
Yeah, Ox will cover our repair bills if anything happens to our car, new brakes, a transmission, AC, or engine problems. Plus, Ox Car Care offers free oil changes, tire rotation, and roadside assistance.
Wait a minute, we pay nothing on the repairs. Ox gets it fixed for us? Free oil changes, free tire rotation, and free roadside assistance? What's the number?
800-301-4089. Ox has a 30-day money-back guarantee and an A+ rating at the Better Business Bureau. They handle their claims from start to finish, unlike other warranty companies. We should call now. 800-301-4089.
The last thing we need is an unexpected car repair bill. I'm calling Ox Car Care now.
Call Ox Car Care for your free quote. 800-301-4089. Ask about senior and military discounts. Ox covers commercial car owners too. Don't get stuck with a major car repair bill. Call Ox Car Care, 800-301-4089. I'll second guess dinners with friends because they can be interrupted by diarrhea, gas, bloating, stomach pain, or oily stools. It turns out I have EPI, or exocrine pancreatic insufficiency, which means I'm missing the enzymes needed to digest food. My doctor prescribed Creon, pancrelipase, an oral prescription medication that replaces pancreatic digestive enzymes. Creon treats EPI due to cystic fibrosis, chronic pancreatitis, pancreatectomy, or other conditions.
Creon may increase your chance of fibrosing colonopathy, a rare bowel disorder. Tell your doctor if you have a history of intestinal blockage or scarring or thickening of your bowel wall. If you're allergic to pork, or if you have gout, kidney problems, or worsening of painful swollen joints. Call your doctor if you have any unusual or severe gastrointestinal symptoms or allergic reactions. Take Creon as directed by your doctor and only with food. Do not chew capsules, as this may cause mouth irritation. Other side effects may include blood sugar changes, gas, dizziness, sore throat, and cough. These are not all the side effects of Creon.
Creon is the #1 prescribed EPI treatment. Ask your doctor about Creon for EPI and visit creoninfo.com or call 800-633-9110 to learn more. That's CREONinfo.com.
Marketing Specialist, Global Engagement Office, University of California, Riverside, California. Research, analyze, monitor, and evaluate marketing efforts. 5% domestic, 25% international travel is required to perform the job duties. Salary, $68,500, $123,900 per year. Send resume to Cynthia Well, 900 University Avenue, Riverside, California, 92521. Again, send resume to Cynthia Well, 900 University Avenue,
They're wasting
Riverside,
so much money.
California,
These are like very expensive.
92521.
Over the years, I've compiled thousands of inspiring and thought-provoking quotes, and now
Such a bad way to advertise.
In less than 5 minutes, I'll break down why these words matter and reveal personal stories that show them in action in my life. Listen to Ice-T's Daily News every weekday on the iHeartRadio app, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you get your podcasts. At Mike Diamond Plumbing, we spell good. Show up on time or your house call is free. MikeDiamond.com. KFI, AM 640. More stimulating talk. To talk to George Norrie, call the wildcard line at 818-501-4109. The first-time caller line is 818-501-4721. To talk toll-free from east of the Rockies, call 800-825-5033. From west of the Rockies, toll-free, call 800-618-8255. To reach George via Skype, use Skype name George97313. Send George a text message anytime at 818-298-6521. This is Coast to Coast AM with George Norrie.
Well, this hour, as we continue chatting with Mark Seifer about his work on ozone therapy, even handwriting analysis, we'll have some fun with that. We'll take your calls as well on Coast to Coast AM. Tax season, always a crazy time, isn't it? But you can feel even more stressful if you fall victim to fake IRS calls. Scammers pretending to be IRS agents will ask for personal information, bank accounts, or for you to wire money on the spot. Be smart, just hang up. The IRS normally doesn't contact taxpayers that way. They go through the mail. It's important to understand how cybercrime and identity theft are affecting our lives, and your personal information gets exposed so often, making it dangerously easy for a cyber criminal to steal your identity. Protecting that identity can be easy with LifeLock by Norton. LifeLock detects and alerts you to potential identity threats that you might not spot on your own, like loans taken out in your name. If you become a victim of identity theft, a dedicated U.S.-based restoration specialist will work to fix it. No one can prevent all identity theft or monitor all transactions at all businesses, but it's easy to help protect yourself with LifeLock. Identity theft protection starts here. Join now, save up to 25% off your first year with promo code George.
Real people, real stories.
I had acute eczema. I have tried every cream and ointment that you can imagine. It was pretty miserable. So I started taking Carnivora, and at this point, I don't want to ever be without it.
Our little dog developed this lymph problem. The chemotherapy lasted for 6 months. He started developing more lymph nodes that were swelled up. So I thought I'd just try Carnivora. The lymph nodes started to go down, swelling did. Then I took him into the vet to have him checked out, and there was no signs at all inside.
My cat had issues that developed in his eye, so my veterinarian said, you know what, let's go ahead and remove the eye. I heard the carnivore advertising, so I said, you know what, I'm going to order this product. They did all the tests. I kid you not, this product saved his eye.
Call 866-83-COM. That's CARNIVORA.com.
And welcome back to Coast. George Norrie back with Mark Seifer. His book, Ozone Therapy for the Treatment of Viruses. Mark, what is science beginning to say about this? Are they jumping on this bandwagon?
Well, there are a number of scientists that are actually very involved in. I discovered an article from Harvard Medical School where they took a zebra fish and they purposely wounded the tail of the fish. And the fish manufactured hydrogen peroxide. Ozone is O3, hydrogen peroxide is H2O2. It's kind of like water. They're very similar disinfectants. And what they discovered, this is an obvious, that manufactures hydrogen peroxide. So I think the next step would be to find the gene that manufactures ozone. One of the ads that you had talked about stem cells. Ozone also triggers the release of stem cells from the bone marrow, and as I mentioned, blood cells per second, 2 million red blood cells per second. You have to be in awe of the majesty of our immune system, and the more you study the immune system, it emulates that, and we will protect ourselves against future emerging viruses. That's really what this is all about.
Is it magical?
I think life is magical. I think the Chambers brothers are magical. I love listening to that song, I have to tell you. But I think, I think when you look at the ozone layer, I think it's magical in the sense that unbelievable. I mean, I don't believe it. It's impossible for me to believe it when I keep reading and reading it. The ozone layer, which is protecting our planet from cosmic rays, is less than an inch thick. It's less than a millimeter thick. How is that possible? This giant planet of ours, small, but it's a giant planet for us, this tiny little layer of ozone, O3, is absorbing the cosmic rays and allowing life to evolve on the Earth. I think that is magical. And I think, our very existence is magical. So it's really, I think, having respect for Mother Nature. In fact, I dedicate the book to Mother Nature because she has given us the answer. Just as she taught us how to fly, how to learn how to, with airplanes, she will teach us how to protect ourselves against many, many diseases, including cancer, herpes, Lyme disease, and all of that. There's many different forms of viral-related diseases that ozone therapy will benefit you from.
Don't they put some ozone generators by wells and for treatment of water?
Yes, they're used to purify municipal water supplies. Finally, now the Olympic teams were coming over to America, and they'd be swimming in the American pools, and they'd be using chlorine. And so they finally, shamed them to say, use ozone. So they now use UV light, and the water is so pure in these swimming pools. The myth that I've heard is that people, the swimmers, they'd rather drink the swimming pool water than the water coming out of the tap because it's that pure.
As long as nobody else was in the pool.
Yeah. Let's go to the treat is those superbugs, which has invaded so many hospitals.
Sure.
So it's very, very important. I do think it's the most important story in the world. Look at how our entire society just collapsed and the cities became ghost towns because of this COVID thing. And COVID really is a mild virus. Ebola, as I mentioned before, is a much more dangerous virus.
Sure.
And had Ebola been able to spread like COVID, and they continued to denigrate the ozone therapists, it would have been worse than what an asteroid would have done. It would just wipe out civilization. So it's really a wake-up call. I'm pleading with the congressmen. I've seen these congressmen over and over again, congresswomen as well. I wrote, President Trump, Vice President Pence, President Biden, Vice President Harris. I've written Mitt Romney.
Any response at all, Mark?
I got all the letters I got a very nice letter from the CEO of the Green Bay Packers. I wrote to every single football owner and baseball owner. He was the only one who responded. Sheldon Whitehouse, I mentioned saying that Sheldon Whitehouse has responded positively. I got a nice letter from President Biden, but it didn't say anything. It was just one of these stock letters that really didn't deal with the issue, the point of it.
Thank you for writing.
Yeah, I think it's like the crux of an important moment in society. I think it's kind of like digital photography, wiped out Kodak. I think ozone therapy will make a lot of the unnecessary drugs, we won't need them because, ozone will take industry, I think, which is possibly, one of the reasons why it hasn't been accepted as well as it should.
We got a whole bank of phone calls coming in for you, so let's go to them. Let's start with Brendan and Austin.
George, I just got to say for all the listeners that we got to start with the good news because we're talking about ozone. the ozone layer is healing everybody after some people have heard about that, but that's not talked about often. Don't give up protecting the earth and protecting life, people. We can do it. That's success. Ozone layer is healing. So, doctor, the FDA and others have all put in parts per million for the limits for ozone, and I was researching air purifiers this week, and it's quite a coincidence. Awesome show. It's nice to have some information brought to that, and I was surprised to find out that a lot of the air purifiers on Amazon are not regulated, which was surprising. Hospitals use ozone to disinfect things, but nobody's allowed to be in the room. And with the Amazon air purifiers, you put that in your house and you just have it running all the time. And that is potentially the problem that they're saying, is that with the hospital ozone, it clears the surface. So whenever you're breathing it in, it creates a lot of problems in your lungs. And I was wondering, doctor, do you think that that is a big problem, that there's this discrepancy, between the two, that I'm losing my train of thought here, but
You want to talk about it breathing in. Is there a danger of breathing it in, Mark?
Actually, he brings up a very good point. But the truth of the matter is, an ozone generator is extremely mild amount of ozone. It's not going to do anything. If you're really in a room with intense ozone generators, do not do that. But if there's an ozone machine somewhere, it's not going to matter. Some of the studies I've done read about in the 1920s, people that had tuberculosis or whatever, they had these ozone machines, and they were helping alleviate those symptoms. So mild amount of breathing is not going to do anything. As I mentioned before, our body has the ability to self-heal. So if there was a little bit of injury occurring, it will self-heal. Whereas the viruses cannot self-heal. So if ozone tears the lipid envelope, the outer skin of the virus, it will die. It cannot, reproduce. It can't, self-medicate. So I would say, you do not want to be in a room where intense ozone generators are, but mild amounts are not going to mean anything.
Next up, let's go to Jill in Santa Barbara, California. Welcome to the program. Hi, Jill.
Why, thank you very much, and I hope you can hear me, because I can hear two different George soundtracks going in the background. Can you hear me?
We hear you well.
Okay, well, good. Thank you. I have two different items, and I wanted to say how much I enjoy this. I have experience with great satisfaction speaking to different graphoanalysis experts, and it's so meaningful. It's just absolutely so meaningful, like any true science. But curious handwriting, and I would have to come in an hour early and actually write on the blackboard over 100 times. I will not write like this.
What was wrong with the way you were writing? What was wrong with it?
Yeah. Pardon me?
What was wrong with the way you were writing?
Well, I didn't really take it to heart, because my writing is sort of lyrical, and I wound up actually in college having an art teacher of mine say to me, "Is that your handwriting? It's just beautiful." He said, "Always remember how you do your handwriting, how you do your cursive before you sit down and to paint or to draw."
Mark, is it fair to discipline kids because of their handwriting?
Well, I would look at it in a positive way, because it's fine motor control. Sometimes I have good fine motor control, sometimes I don't. In general, boys do not have as good fine motor control as girls. So if the assignment, she said, I will write in a much better way over and over again, I would look at it in a positive way. They're actually getting her to retrain her brain. So rather than see it in a negative, it's actually the positive thing if the person tries to improve the legibility of their handwriting, and even as an assignment, write this 30 times so that it's more legible. I would see it as a way of retraining the brain. Just like, remember how hard it was to learn how to throw a frisbee? You got to practice and practice and practice until you can get to throw it. And it's the same kind of thing. If your handwriting is really illegible, to really work hard to make it more legible is retraining the brain. It's a very positive thing to do.
I can't remember, but at what point in a kid's school year is he taught how to handwrite instead of
fourth grade? To me, it was fourth grade. We learned cursive, but we learned handwriting. First, second, and third grade. How to print, and then you move into cursive in fourth.
Why do doctors have such a horrible handwriting?
I think they don't want you to know what that they do.
I don't know how pharmacists can read the prescriptions they write.
Yeah. I think that's and as I mentioned, a lot of executives have very rapid handwriting, and I think that's one of the reasons they're trying to get it as much done as rapidly as possible.
East of the Rockies, Basil's with us in Texas. Welcome to the program. Hey, Baz, go ahead.
Hello, how you doing? I was wondering, you said the best way is to use pure oxygen, into an ozone machine. Since oxygen is O2, where would the extra oxygen come from? Would it change the O2 to O1, carbon monoxide? And I have a follow-up question.
Carbon monoxide is carbon and oxygen. So we're just talking about oxygen. The medical doctors, they do not take ozone from the atmosphere. They take ozone from oxygen. So you have to have oxygen tanks. And the oxygen tanks are used to convert O2, which is oxygen, into O3, which is ozone.
Yeah, the oxygen we breathe in is O2, right?
Yeah, we're breathing in O2. And ozone is O3.
What converts it to O3?
No.
Electric
This isn't
ultraviolet light.
Okay,
no, this is not advertising. What about this big fucking red billboard in this fucking room? Do you think?
On the same note, where's the extra oxygen coming from? Does it make it O1? And what is O1?
It makes it O3, not O1.
I know, but it's taking it from somewhere. I mean, it's not, it's coming from somewhere. It has to be coming from O2, huh?
Yeah, if you have, O2 and O2 would be, you have, it changes from O2 to O3. So it's just a molecule with three, how water is H2O, it's one hydrogen and two oxygen. Oxygen is O2, it's two molecules of oxygen. O3 is three molecules of oxygen in a triangle.
And there isn't an O1, it's just O, right?
It would just be a single oxygen, yeah. And what's happening, O3 is unstable, ozone is unstable. It needs another electron, it needs another thing to make it stable. That's why it's detrimental to viruses, because it'll take some from the skin, the outer skin of the virus, it'll oxidize it, and it'll put a little tear in the virus in the outer skin, and that will kill the virus.
Let's go up to Idaho. Gary's with us. Welcome to the show. Hi, Gary.
Hey, George, another great guest, another great show.
Good guy. Sure is.
Hey, and Mark, I studied a lot of this, not nearly as in depth as you, but quite a bit, about 14 years ago or so. I contracted some kind of a disease, and I still have it. And the doctors, they're not real good at figuring it out at all, and they kind of don't care. And I actually tried hydrogen peroxide, and there used to be a website, The Truth About Hydrogen Peroxide. He might have even been on Coast at one time. I'm not sure. I can't remember real good anymore. But I tried 3%, and I ended up puffing 3%, and it almost gave me a stroke, I think. I don't know. But I ended up going to the hospital, and I ended up, during that time being sick, I ended up losing my house and everything. Pretty poor now. I was actually going to, at one time, try to get either ozone or hydrogen peroxide intravenous, but now I can't afford hardly anything. And the thing about all this stuff that you're talking about is Big Pharma. Now, they figured out a lot of this stuff a long time ago really well, and Big Pharma hates it. And they put the kibosh on all of it. And I'd love to try some ozone, whatever. And I need to get cured of what I am. I'm dying from what I got, and it's horrible, absolutely horrible.
Well, I would suggest, there are ozone tests about 350 throughout the country. Dr. Frank Schellenberg was in Las Vegas, and he got a newsletter, and I would suggest maybe contacting him, and he might have a list of ozone therapists.
These are all licensed practice physicians, aren't they?
Yes, these are medical doctors, and as I mentioned before, as long as you can establish that it's done safely, it's completely and utterly legal. In fact, it even states that in this crazy Title 21, which calls it a tax of death. There's no medical application, but further down on there it says if it's done, but it's not discussing ozone therapy. It's discussing the machines themselves. So it is legal. And these are medical doctors. Medical doctors. My co-authors, Dr. Howard Rabbi, Dr. Robert Rowan, Dr. Perez Almeida. These have been ozone therapists for more than 20 years. They do this daily on the test. So I would suggest you could look at the book too, and there's a whole list of ozone therapists in the book as well.
Mark, I'd be curious to see what these doctors feel about hyperbaric oxygen therapy. Do you think they'd say it's good too?
Yes, they would. And a lot of the doctors that ozone therapists also have these hyperbaric chambers. And again, your head is not in there. You're not breathing it in. It's for the body. So the body absorbs, the oxygen and the ozone.
It's dramatic, isn't it?
Yeah. Very beneficial. I mean, all it is, as I said, our own immune system is actually producing this. I mentioned, in the book, how when President Trump had COVID, he went to the hospital and he was out over the weekend to cure him. They gave him antibodies from a similar coronavirus. And what the antibodies were doing, they didn't say this, but they were manufacturing ozone. That was what was curing them. The vaccines don't cure you. The vaccines alert your immune system. It's your immune system which cures you. So how does the immune system do that?
Exactly. Mark, we're going to come back and take final calls with you in just a moment. Ozone therapy, that's the name of this book.
Coast Insiders, the new version of the Coast to Coast AM app is now available for iPhone and now Android 4.0 and above. Listen live or on demand anywhere, anytime. Go to coasttocoastam.com and download it today.
I'm Amy King in the KFI 24-hour newsroom. As if mountains of snow weren't enough, Big Bear has been rattled by an earthquake this afternoon. The U.S. Geological Survey says the magnitude 3.1 quake hit at 3:14. A registered sex offender has been charged with sexually assaulting two women in Newport Beach. Police say the 33-year-old attacked the women March 4th. He's being held on $1 million bail. Virginia's largest school system has pulled a test question for an AP social studies class because it equated liberals and conservatives with racial, religious, and gender demographics like young white males, middle-aged urban lesbians for liberals, and southern male migrant workers and Catholic Midwestern middle-aged males for conservatives. Senate Minority Leader Mitch McConnell's been released from the hospital and is continuing to recover from a concussion and broken rib at a rehab facility. He was injured when he fell at a fundraising dinner at the Waldorf Astoria Hotel in D.C. last week. Southland weather from KFI. Clouds with a chance of rain tomorrow morning. Rain likely for the afternoon. Highs in the 50s to mid-60s. Rain should end by Wednesday afternoon. 57 in Orange, 55 Manhattan Beach. We lead local in the KFI 24-hour newsroom. I'm Amy King.
In Anaheim Hills, this is on the 91 eastbound at Imperial Highway. We have a crash. Emergency crews that have all lanes blocked northbound before Long Beach Boulevard. We have a crash there, taking up the middle lanes. Your drive is bunching up right around the Lamo Boulevard. And in Ontario, there is a full freeway closure. This is on the 10 eastbound from Vineyard to Holt Boulevard. All lanes are going to be shut down for road work until 5. KFI in the Sky helps get you there faster. I'm Brian Vance. What would you do if the secret cabal of the most powerful folks back in the 1930s renamed Smedley Butler was all that stood between U.S. and fascism? I'm Ben Bold. I'm Alex Finch.
And I'm Smedley Butler. Join us for this sordid tale of ambition, treason, and what happens when evil tycoons have too much time on their hands.
Listen to Let's Start a Coup on the iHeartRadio app or wherever you find your favorite shows. Spring travel season is almost here, and whether you're planning to jet off to Japan or cruise around Greece, don't forget to add language learning to your itinerary. The Rosetta Stone app will transform the way you travel. Learn useful words and phrases that will not only help you get around more easily, but also have more meaningful experiences with the new people and places you'll discover. Through March 22nd, get 40% off a lifetime subscription to all 25 of Rosetta Stone's languages. Purchase today at rosettastone.com.
KFI AM 640. The complaint crowd is exponentially larger than the advocacy crowd. It's just the advocacy crowd. They get donations, and this is their job. That's what they do for a living. They're financed by wealthy people who've taken this on as a cause. John and Ken, if it's whack-a-mole, then keep whacking them. Live 1 to 4 p.m. on KFI and on demand anytime on the iHeartRadio app.
The sensors on the ceiling of an elevator, which can smell urine, so that they can quickly send over a cleaning crew in the elevator. What we have, though, is a breakdown in cultural norms, because I never remember there was ever a problem with people urinating in public. John and Ken, I never even considered that. Right. Live 1 to 4 p.m. on KFI and on demand anytime on the iHeartRadio app. I don't find it organic. First of all, it's not organic. They put the celery from the $1.29 bin into the $2.99 bin. You think the guy going, hey, this is organic? There's never been an organic piece of fruit or vegetable in any market. The Tim Conway Jr. Show. They're just crazy people buying that crap. Live 4 to 7 p.m. on KFI and on demand anytime on the iHeartRadio app. KFI AM 640.
Wow. No. Oh, you answer quite slowly. The girl with the kaleidoscope eye. She's good. I was near Taco Bell when I heard this. I heard this was about LSD for sure. But yeah, I'm 23. Really? Yep. Even so.
501-4109. The first time caller line is 818-501-4721. To talk toll free from east of the Rockies, call 800-825-5033. From west of the Rockies toll free, call 800-618-8255. To reach George via Skype, use Skype name George97313. Send George a text message anytime at 818-298-6521. This is Coast to Coast AM with George Norrie.
We'll be back with final calls with Mark Seifer in just a moment on Coast to Coast. His book is called Ozone Therapy for the Treatment of Viruses. Next hour, Sal Santoro back with us as we talk about magic and witchcraft right here on Coast to Coast AM. Have you signed up yet to become a Coast Insider? What a great deal. 15 cents a day.
Hi, this is Angelina in Redondo Beach, and I love being a Coast to Coast Insider because I can tune in at any time of day.
Hi, I'm Julio from Louisiana. Really like being an insider. Look at all the interesting information.
Hi, this is Ariel from San Diego, California, and I love being a Coast Insider because I can listen to any show, anytime, anywhere. If I'm in the garden or in the kitchen, taking a walk on the beach. And there's no more sleepless nights for me. It's amazing. Give it a try.
So give it a try. A couple ways to sign up to become a Coast Insider. One, our website, coasttocoastam.com. Right at the top of the homepage, it says Insider. Click it, fill out the information. The other way is to download the free Coast to Coast app. Sign up to be an insider through that, too, by clicking profiles and then subscriptions. And if you live in Canada or worldwide, you now can become a Coast Insider. So take advantage. Here's something for you to just calm your nerves.
Increase your energy and stamina while enhancing your mental clarity, focus, and memory. Start your day with Elevate to improve your mood and alleviate stress. Then wind down at night with Accelerate for mental and physical relaxation while naturally cleansing and detoxifying
Amplify, promoting healthy weight loss. Accelerate and elevate. Purchase Power Pack.
I actually started this product not long ago, and I've just blown away from what it's done for me with energy, some focus and clarity, and it's all natural. That is amazing. And I'm losing inches off my waist. I was feeling an underlying exhaustion that I could not shake. These are a gift. My mood has been incredible, and I absolutely love these.
Well, I get up at 5:30 in the morning. I have a lot of kids. I would take it and it would last until I took the Accelerate. So before I started taking the Elevate and the Accelerate, I would typically experience some kind of anxiety or mood swings. Since taking the product, I haven't taken any over-the-counter medication or prescription, just generally happier person.
I probably have an anxiety or panic attack every 4 or 5 days, and I have not had one depressive thought. I have not been anxious. I've not been jittery. First time I took this pill, I didn't know what to do with myself. It just felt good, clear-headed. I felt focused. There was like a drive inside of me all of a sudden. I was just excited. I was like, is this for real?
Definitely know that the Elevate not only gives me energy, not only gives me the vitamins I need for my body, but it helps me with my mood, and you know what? It makes my husband happy.
George's Power Pack. Order now and receive free gift Be Slim, refreshing weight loss tablets. Accelerate, elevate, and be slim. Order now at healthylooking.com or 800-394-9930. Don't forget promo code George for free shipping. That's 800-394-9930 or healthylooking.com.
If you want to improve your marksmanship, you need a Mantis X. The Mantis X can improve your abilities dramatically, and it is a must for every responsible gun owner. The Mantis X is a high-tech but easy-to-use system used extensively by the military that improves your aim quickly and gives you confidence in your ability to protect what you love. Here's how it works. You attach the Mantis X to your firearm, connect with an app on your smartphone or tablet via Bluetooth, and it gives you instant feedback on what you're doing right, what you're doing wrong, and how to correct your technique. Mantis X is like a firearms instructor in your pocket. 94% of those users improve within 20 minutes using Mantis X. The best part is that you can use it at home. And the other best part is the best in the world being what they call dry fire practice at home. And the Mantis X is the best way to train at home. No driving to the range, spending money on range fees or ammo. And you save a ton of money and improve your shooting. Start improving today. Get your MantisX.com. That's Mantis, MANTIS X.com. Marvelous Entertainment and author Marvin Sunderland have released the newest in action-adventure science fiction that specifically deals with the question, are we alone in the universe? This action-packed drama includes a 7-novel masterpiece, comic books, video games, and movies of Sergeant Waggett's journeys across the universe. Get 20% off the entire 7-novel series and all future graphic novels. Enter coupon code Coast to Coast, all lowercase on Marvelous.com. That's MARVALEOUS.com.
How long does it take to tackle a home project? With Angie, you could cross it off your list before this ad is over. Just tell us what you need, indoor or outdoor, repair or redesign, and we handle the rest, sending a top pro to get it done. You don't have to lift a finger, except to tap the screen or click the mouse. Plus, Angie is free to use. So bring us your next home project, and we'll bring it home. Download the app or go to Angie.com. That's ANGI.com to get started.
Yeah.
And welcome back, George Norrie with Mark Cipher. Mark, what was that aha moment for you when you're doing your research on ozone therapy that just overwhelmed you? Just wow.
I think when I called Dr. Howard Robbins and Dr. Robert Rowan, by the way, is a graduate of Hopkins University in University of California, San Francisco Medical School, and he wanted to go to Sierra Leone, Dr. Robbins, and he says, would you accompany me to treat, this was in 2014, pandemic, Ebola pandemic. Dr. Robbins said, yeah, you're freaking mind, forget it. So Rowan said, well, I'm going, and Dr. Robbins said to himself, I'm not going to let him get all the credit. So he called him right back and said, okay, I'll go with you. So they got 20 ozone machines from longevity research, which the FDA has just forced the amount of business. me was, who in their right mind would go to an Ebola hot zone? Remember, during the COVID pandemic, we were in gloves. Oh my God! And well, COVID has a 2% death rate. Ebola is a 60%. 6 out of 8 people out of Ebola die. It's 30 times more deadly. And I said to myself, if these guys are going to West Africa to treat Ebola, they must know what they're doing. And that was really the aha moment for me, that they knew that ozone therapy would disrupt the lipid envelope of the virus, the outer skin, and would kill Ebola. And that's what happened. So that would be really the aha moment for me.
Let's take some final calls here for you. We will go next to Cheryl in Texas. Welcome to the program. Hi, Cheryl.
Hi, George. What a great show.
Thank you.
You're always a pro. Thank you, Doctor. I wanted to tell you, please, all of the listeners, please listen to him. Listen to what's being said. The pharmaceutical industry and the doctors and the insurance companies have been restricting ozone therapy and hyperbaric oxygen. Today, the only way you can get some of these therapies if they're amputating parts of your body, you have to have 2 amputations before the insurance companies will allow you to have any type of this therapy coverage.
Wow.
Years ago, I was poisoned by solvents in my workplace 35 years ago.
You have to
The
have
doctors prescribed
2 amputations.
air filters, and they had ozone therapy switches on them. Dr. Gunnar Horscher out in California is written up in the New England Journal of Medicine. He highly he did experiments and studies on hyperbaric oxygen and ozone therapy, and for toxic encephalopathy and people that were poisoned by solvents. And these were scuba divers that have accidents in the water. It pushes oxygen down into the cells. I have talked to people that they're about to amputate the legs of their children that have had a sports injury, and the doctors aren't even offering any type of these therapies. The insurance companies aren't offering. They have to carry this question to the doctors. Can my child have this therapy? And then they save their leg. So I want everybody to listen to this man, because you never know when this information may save your life or save your loved one's life. You just never know. Our FDA, insurance companies, doctors, all the doctors that make together. And we as human beings, we need to start paying attention to specialists like this doctor and start reading, because if you can kill viruses and bacteria, help save limbs, save lives, cancer, then why not? But you have to be proactive. You have to ask doctors for this treatment.
Absolutely. And Cheryl, he's a PhD type, but he's a great researcher. Mark, do people confuse you with being a medical doctor sometimes?
When I testify, they call me doctor, and I say, well, I'm not a medical doctor, I'm a PhD. But I would say that what this lady's saying is exactly my motivation.
Absolutely.
We were losing 1,000 people a day, and during the winter, 2,000, 3,000 people a day, 100,000 people a month were dying in COVID. And I was pleading to the Congress to just look at the, I talked about Dr. Alberto Hernandez studies for the 18 COVID patients, and 9 of got ozone therapy were out 7 days as compared to 28 days. It'll also handle all the different mutations. I was pleading with them, and it was like a blank wall.
What's that game, Yosh?
Unbelievable. I've been living in the twilight zone and listening to this lady. She's telling you the truth. The opposition's been unbelievable.
One of us or
Thank
something?
heavens for you, George. And thank heavens for Any Traditions for publishing this book, because it's been it's been a tremendous opposition. But I knew the truth because I look at facts. The facts of this Paul Wentworth study that our own antibodies manufacture ozone. I'm not making this up. and read Dr. Alfredo Hernandez's clinical study, the Dr. David Brownstein, his clinical study where he treated 37 COVID patients with ozone therapy and a few other things, vitamin therapy, and he's cured all of them. So they have these clinical studies, and what she's saying is completely correct. I lost a very close relative because he just didn't believe in this because of negative opposition from the FDA. Dr. Rohn was called in Texas. He was a pilot dying of one of these superbugs, and the hospital would not let him into the hospital to treat the guy, and he died up to a few days later. I also think, you mentioned cruise lines in one of the ads. Every cruise line should have an ozone therapist on board their ship. I wrote 3 top cruise lines, they never even stood back from them. It's just dumb. It's plain
If anything, just to sanitize the ship.
Or even medical doctors. I think you have a medical doctor, so because if one person gets, a communicable virus on a ship, 800 people will have the virus. We've seen that over and over again.
Yes.
And it's easy to treat. This is simple stuff. So this lady was totally on point. She knows from direct experience the opposition that we've been facing. But thank heavens again for your show, and for the publisher and the producers for producing this book.
East of the Rockies, Joe's with us in Ohio. Hey, Joseph, go ahead.
Oh, thanks, George. Thanks for taking my call. And Mark, you're a true patriot. So are you, George. I'm going to talk fast because it's very important. I get in what I need to get in. I've had about 12 to 15 of the ozone treatments, so they take the blood out and then they run it through the infrared. It's called a TENSAT. It's a great treatment. I've had roughly 500 hyperbaric chamber treatments. Wow. Well, I first had the treatment in 2018, the ozone, and then again in 2021 in Ohio. And the people that where I was going in Ohio were trained by Dr. O, and they flew out in 2021 and were trained by him. But there's a big piece that you're missing, and it's huge. This is, you've heard of G. Edward Griffin. He's at the Red Bull. He's a doctor friend of mine. He's the best of the best. His name's Dr. Alfonso Manzo. You're missing the AI and the nano part of it. It's huge. It's huge, and that's the big part. Because I've had more, I was diagnosed from the Environmental Health Center in Dallas with toxic encephalopathy in 2015. And you had a past guest in 2012 that's no longer with us. His name's Michael Chapla. He was a pioneer with Tesla technology, and he was able to talk to Dr. Manzo right before he was taken out and poisoned in January of 2020. These are friends of mine. They're the best. But you have to look him up, Dr. Alfonso Manzo. He was out at Red Hill out in Utah with G. Edward Griffin, who I know. So these are good treatments, but it's the AI and the nano. This is all DARPA technology. This is a whole different animal that you're missing. So please look him up, Dr. Alfonso Manzo.
He's a good guy. He was a good guy.
Well, I have mixed feelings about it. I know that, I'm from the 1950s when we had the polio vaccine, and it wiped out polio, and smallpox vaccine wiped out, the smallpox. And those work. Yeah, but the statistics are there. So it works well to the death of people that didn't get vaccinated. But we don't need the ozone therapy to accept it. We would have to wait a year. One of the problems was we have to wait a year for the vaccines to come out. And during that process, hundreds of thousands of people died waiting for the vaccines to come out. And then there was misinformation, disinformation, and there were different kinds of vaccines that work different kinds of ways. So in general, they've been very effective, but like anything else, I think some of the kids that are autistic might have gotten vaccines at the wrong time in their childhood. There's something to be said for that as well. So there's a danger with all of this stuff. That's the problem. But in general, the vaccine's been very effective. But it took 700,000 deaths in its country before they were rolled out, and the FCC, I'm telling you, they blocked the ozone therapy. I have the warning letter, the exact warning letter that they sent to all these ozone therapists, these are medical doctors throughout the country, telling them you will not put anything about this on your website, or we will prosecute. Dr. Howard Leibowitz in Los Angeles puts this on his website. You can see what he said. He was treating and successfully treating COVID, and they shut him right down. Dr. Rowan was shut down very well, and so was Dr. Robin. So they could continue to treat because it's legal, but they couldn't advertise it. And that's how crazy
That makes no sense.
No sense at all. And what's crazy to me is the New York Times. I put an ad in the New York Times, the quote of 3 medical doctors, 2 of them, saying that ozone therapy will kill viruses. And the New York Times would not publish my ad. They turned down a lot of money. They wouldn't put the ad in. And the reason is because their lawyers read the FDA regulation that ozone is toxic gas, there's no medical application, and they're afraid. And I'm writing back to the Tom, the head of the New York Times. I'm saying, you're a journalist. Find out the truth. You can't just listen to a lawyer. The lawyer is reading a sentence, but find out the truth. And I give him all the evidence, and he won't even answer me. I wrote to same thing with the Washington Post and Wall Street Journal. The evidence the information I'm telling you has not been in mainstream media. I've written to Anderson Cooper. I sent them my book. I've written to all the people at 60 Minutes, and I've yet to hear from them. I'm like crazy. This is scientific fact. I'm just looking at facts. The facts that it went in a different direction, I go in the other direction. But the facts are so clear. Ozone therapy is simply enhancing what our own immune system is doing. So you're right. It's just you're living in a crazy situation. And again, George, thank heavens for your show. I took parapsychology for 15 years. I know all about parapsychology, astrology too. The first breath you take is, Walter Starlight, and that particular very moment. That's your course of who you are. So there's listen to all your ads, and that music. I love the music as well. I connect on so many levels of what you're doing. It's so important because you're open. That's all it is. You're just open to what's happening in the world.
You want the truth, Mark. That's what we want.
Exactly it.
We want to help people. I've always said if we can help one person, like Cheryl in Texas, we can help one person, it's worth the program.
Completely agree. And I've been trying to save lives. That's really the reason for this book. And I'm pleading with the congressmen to open their eyes. Don't stop. Adam Schiff, 3 or 4 times, he hasn't answered me. Written to Bernie Sanders, who was actually my brother, sent him the book. Mitt Romney, I like Mitt Romney. And I'd like to hear back from these people. I sent them the book, read the book, and you'll see, it's just fact.
Or have a staff member read the book. If they don't want to read it, have a staff member read it and take notes and make a report to the guy,
Yeah. And President Biden had this moonshot to cure cancer. Well, the first guy I listened to in 1984, Dr. Freebach, used ozone therapy and cured a guy who was riddled with cancer. So maybe it can't cure all cancer, but it'll cure viral-based cancers.
Mark, thanks for the guts for doing what you do. The name of the book is Ozone Therapy. Up next, Magic and Witchcraft on Coast to Coast.
Never miss a detail on a show or a guest. Sign up for the Coast Zone email newsletter, available for free at coasttocoastam.com.
I'm KTLA Samantha Cortese, here to tell you your afternoons just got a lot smarter.
Putting like and press
That's the latest here at Union Station.
Putting like here in the movie.
Seriously, KTLA 5 News is now live from 3 to 7 every weekday.
Really heavy rain come through.
Covering more stories from more places more often with the Southland's most sought-after news team.
This is Food Friday on CWS and watch live Saturday and Sunday on your CW network. Saturday and Sunday morning starting at 10 on KTLA 5, the CW. Is your car still under warranty? No, not anymore. My mechanic just suggested an extended service plan from Ox Car Care. Ox Car Care? Yeah, Ox will cover repair bills if anything happens to the car. Brakes, transmission, AC, or engine problems. Plus, Ox Car Care offers free oil changes, tire rotation, and roadside assistance. Wait, you pay nothing on repairs? Ox gets it fixed? Free oil changes, free tire rotation, and free roadside assistance? Yeah, you don't pay. Ox pays. Ox even has a 30-day money-back guarantee and is A+ rated on the BBB. They handle their claims from start to finish, unlike those other warranty companies. The last thing I need is an unexpected car repair bill. I'm calling Ox Car Care now. Call Ox Car Care for your free quote, 800-301-4089. Ask about senior and military discounts. Ox covers commercial car owners too. Don't get stuck with a major car repair bill. Call Ox Car Care, 800-301-4089. 800-301-4089. Portions of the following program will be recorded. Did you know that smart speakers can be used for more than just feeding all your info to Homeland Security? Let's go. You could also use it to listen to us. Like KFI, AM 640.
KFI.
And KOST HD2.
Los Angeles, Orange County. Live everywhere on the iHeartRadio app.
From riverbed to motel room, I'm Amy King in the KFI 24-hour newsroom. Homeless people living on a 3-mile stretch of the LA River in the San Fernando Valley have been moved to motel rooms.
More than 44 people were moved into motel rooms through Mayor Bass's Inside Safe initiative. Councilman Bob Blumenfield says he thinks the effort was effective because people were offered housing on the spot.
We had a bus waiting, and we were able to say to folks, this is an incredible, once-in-a-lifetime opportunity.
Blumenfield also says the fact the river will soon be illegal to camp on in his district was also motivating. People who moved off the river last week are being lined up with caseworkers to help them stay off the streets. Blake Trolley, KFI News.
A regional bank with several locations in Southern California has failed. Officials say Signature Bank's customers have automatically become members of a new bank run by the FDIC. Signature Bank's collapse yesterday comes after Silicon Valley Bank, which was headquartered in Santa Clara, also failed. Officials say customers of both banks will be able to access all of their money. Officials are looking for 2 people who broke into 7 restaurants in just 30 minutes in Rancho Santa Margarita. The OC Sheriff's Department says security footage captured 2 people using power tools to break into locked safes on Saturday. Officials say the pair also stole safes that were not anchored to the ground. Lulu's Cafe, Luna Grill, and Mountain Mike's Pizza were among the restaurants hit. Sergeant Mike Woodruff says the thieves targeted several locations, including 3 businesses and 1 strip club. UCLA and USC men's basketball teams have been seeded at number 2 and 10 for the NCAA tournament. Bruins take on the University of North Carolina in Sacramento Thursday. USC will face Michigan State Friday morning in Columbus. A new pop-up cafe where people can eat, drink, and play with rabbits is coming to Woodland Hills. Owner of the traveling event company, Kevin G, says the bunnies are rescues taken in by people who adopted them during the pandemic.
Now that COVID is getting back to normal, we know we're getting outside a little bit more. They don't have time for the bunnies.
The owner says the cafe will be working with Above and Beyond Animal Rescue in Buena Park to coordinate adoption. Visitors can hop on into the cafe from March 25th to April 29th. Tickets can be bought at Bunny Cafe's website. Southland weather from KFI. Chance of rain tomorrow morning. Then it's expected to really come down tomorrow afternoon. Highs in the 50s to mid-60s. Rain continues through Wednesday afternoon with up to 3 inches expected before this one moves out. It's 57 in Yorba Linda, 58 Irvine, 56 in Carson, 56 in Huntington Beach. We leave local in the KFI 24-hour newsroom. I'm Amy King.
How much do you think your home is worth this year? Do you think it's going to be worth the same next year? If you're thinking about borrowing on your home equity, your odds of getting more out of your home is probably higher now than it will be next year. I certainly believe that. Some experts predict that property values might decline over the next few years, making it more challenging for borrowers to tap into that home equity. If you need $75,000 or more, HMS Capital can help you borrow the money you need with the equity you've built. So whether you want to consolidate debt, make home improvements, or whatever your situation may be, HMS Capital may have the best solution to help you. No appraisal, credit report fees to apply. I've done 2 mortgages with HMS Capital. Clearly, I'm a fan. I believe they are simply the best at what they do. Call 833-255-5698, 833-255-5698. Visit hmscapital.com.
fraud. Just like I check my credit card statement, I check my Medicare statements monthly.
Charge
If you get your statement and you see something that you know you did not have done, you report it. Call the Senior Medicare Patrol.
To report Medicare fraud, call 855-613-7080.
Oh, good times are waiting on St. Patty's Day.
Now your top reasons to visit Orlando.
St. Patrick's Day freebie. Get a free plush rainbow keychain March 17th.
Number 2.
Get a toasty toaster when you earn 500 points on your rewards card. The 20th or 21st.
And the number 1 reason.
We work hard for you. That's why LA Times readers voted out the best casino in the Southland.
Morongo, good times. iHeartRadio icons with the Edge, celebrating U2's Songs of Surrender, their new 4-song reimagined collection. U2's The Edge joins Jim Kerr to do a deep dive into the making and remaking of U2 classics on Songs of Surrender. It's forces chapters. So let's see if there are 42 songs that we can reimagine. Don't miss it. Friday, St. Patrick's Day at 7 p.m. Eastern on the Classic Rock Channel on iHeartRadio. Angry today? I'm perpetually in a state. I'm not supposed to be on this planet. This is a terrible mistake. As a 5-year-old, I said I should be here. I know I'm the victim of some massive property choke. And I'm just waiting for it. John and Ken are waiting for me to book. Live 1 to 4 p.m. on KFI and on demand anytime on the iHeartRadio app.
Are you saying
The people are the sovereign in this country. We're not the king, we're not the queen. How do we get our officials? Who runs this country? Those that are elected by people of the United States. Bill and
I think your answers are one of the best ones.
overridden by the court system. Live 6 to 9 a.m. on KFI and on demand anytime on the iHeartRadio app. People in prison committed crimes, period. That's all that matters. Their color, their ethnicity doesn't matter. They committed the crimes. And gangs are in the business of crime. John and Ken, they don't do anything else but commit crimes all day. Live 1 to 4 p.m. on KFI and on demand anytime on the iHeartRadio app for stimulating talk.
It's so good. It's like it's like
My head keeps spinning. I go to sleep and keep grinning. If this is gonna be yeah, my life is going to be beautiful. It's just like the color set. Tell me quick, and I'll kick.
From the city of angels, this is Coast to Coast AM with George Floyd. Up next, Magic and Witchcraft with Sal Santoro. Coast to Coast AM. The CC Radio 3 is what we call the Almost Everything Radio. And with the addition of Bluetooth, you now have an immense palette of radio shows and podcasts available from any smartphone speaker. If you listen primarily to voice content, the CC Radio 3 is well worth the price of one.
Yeah, that one's really good.
Right next to you. Separate bass and treble controls can be adjusted to your perfect fit. Immerse yourself in audio therapy. The CC Radio 3 has great reception for long-range AM and FM stations, along with emergency capabilities like no other, the 2-meter handband. It runs on an included power cord or a set of batteries for more than 170 amps. To order the CC Radio 3, call Brain at 1-800-522-8863. Once again, that's 1-800-522-8863. Or visit them online at ctrain.com.
Yeah, okay, there you go.
Locations and Amazon.
No, I never put a I usually just put my wolf one on the piece.
Marvelous Entertainment and Locker Marvin Sunderland have released the newest in action-adventure science fiction that specifically deals with the question, are we alone in the universe? This action-packed drama includes a 7-novel masterpiece, comic books, video games, and movies of Sergeant Ragged's journeys across the universe. Get 20% off the entire 7-novel series and all future graphic novels, enter coupon code Coast to Coast, all lowercase on Marvelous.com. That's MARVALEOUS.com.
For a limited time, back the 1-ounce solid silver Ghana alien coin, part of the silver starter kit exclusively at BullionMax.com/code. With inflation on the rise and the teetering stock market, now's the time to diversify in the precious metals that you can store at your home. Go to BullionMax.com/coast and they'll ship your silver directly to your home, fully insured. They'll start building your wealth in precious metals at BullionMax.com/coast. That's BullionMax.com/coast.
Yeah, he threw me an arrow. Oh, so he just blocked him before he could even join? That's great. Twice, but then he joined. It's not, so now it's when I was going to come back. He's going to be like, what the fuck?
Well, welcome back to Coast to Coast. George Norris with you, our special Sal Santoro, back with us, co-owner of the Crooked Path. Now, that's a leading traditional witchcraft store in the Los Angeles area. Sal's 35-plus years experience in all things magic has led him to become one of the go-to sources for demystifying the misunderstood craft. Sal continues to strive to make the occult accessible and inclusive for all of those who seek it out. Sal Santoro back on Coast to Coast. Hey, Sal, how have you been?
How have you been, sir? Good to hear from you.
You too, my friend. What's new with you?
I ain't gonna lie, I might make like
there's something going on, you know, things moving on. The story's doing really good. Actually, it's kind of neat because Pat and Mary was just on your show not too long ago.
That's right.
And
How did you get into this? Oh,
I did into this whole, I mean, it started in New England. And, well, I mean, I graduated high school in 82, so it probably started around 79. And, you know, it was me and my friends in the woods in the pre-internet days of New Hampshire. And we were trying to find out information on it. You know, I mean, we're in New England. And there really wasn't much out there then. And I got my first witchcraft book, which was Mastering Witchcraft by Paul Eaton. He's still with us today. He's about 8 years old now. It was just a really great starter book, and that put me up and just kept moving on through. And when I got to California, I found my first cousin in Long Beach. I met.
Thank God you went in Salem, Massachusetts, right?
You know, I was just talking to somebody, one of my students about that actually earlier today. You know, when I was a kid in New England, it wasn't like witchcraft world there. It wasn't like that. You know, it became very trendy in the last 15 years. Well, there's stories just lying in the streets, but it was not like that at all.
Is tourism pretty big in Salem?
Now, yes, but New England, I mean, of course, if you go to the House of Seven Gables, you know, you see some of the early parts of the homes and, you know, people of that nature, you know, but that was what it was about. And then, of course, you know, you have the one Lori Cabot store, and she had the official Witch of Salem going on, and she held that for years. She's really good at it.
Oh, that's fantastic. And since we last spoke, which I can't believe it was already 2 years ago.
2 years, almost COVID, wasn't it?
Yeah, we're right in the middle of it.
Yeah, actually, you're right. It was in the middle of the beginning of it, right?
So you've been doing a lot of things since?
I have. I mean, a lot's been going on. I further developed the coven that I ran for. I've reached now, I've taught my 10 weeks to witchcraft. I've taught about, we're thinking about 500 people at this point, pretty somewhere in there. People love the course. And I just had class tonight, and those present classes was on the second to last class of the series. And we were just reminiscing about that. But yeah, so we've been teaching, going to Greece. You know, I've got Greece every year, Utopia, of course, and enjoying Crete because it's like my favorite place in the world. This year started out weird. My mother passed away.
I'm sorry to hear.
Yeah, it's really weird. She's 96 years old.
That's a good run. Mine's 94.
94 for that, you know, you're never ready to lose your mom.
No.
It was hard, but this past weekend, I flew to Florida, and I celebrated my father's 100th birthday.
Oh my God.
Yeah, he was a bombardier on the B-24 in World War II.
My father was World War II vet. When I lost him when he was 88, he would have been 100 years old.
That is amazing. They're the same age. Yeah. My dad was in the Air Force.
That high graphics on.
You know, and he totally did the ball bearing runs over Germany.
My dad was in Germany.
No, I think Bob said the same every single day.
Wow.
I wonder if they knew each other.
You know, you wonder. My dad was stationed in England.
Do you play on a laptop or a
I
PC?
don't know. I don't think he may have come from the England area when they shipped them overseas.
Yeah, see, my dad didn't.
He didn't like to talk about the war.
Neither did my father was very much not that guy. You always heard people, you always get those certain people that love talking about it. My father, I mean, what I got from him the first thing was when he was finished, they offered him a service revolver, they offered him all the stuff. He just took it to the end of the line and gave it back to me. He's like, I want nothing to do with it now. I did my time, I'm done.
Who are you talking
And he walked away.
You know that one guy that had the skyline?
Was it the Hecate?
Hecate.
How did you unravel her?
Well, it got me. I've always known about her. She has always, been a prevalent word in India called, and I mean, Shakespeare even mentions it in Macbeth. He doesn't do her very good justice, though. He kind of makes her look like an old crone, but actually she was like technically.
It looks like Medusa.
Yeah. Well, Medusa is a Gorgon, which would be a correlative and a relation, almost conflation to Hecate, which is an aspect. The Hecate Gorgon, or the Gorgon aspect of Hecate. But Hecate, I found when I went to Greece, and I've been, like I said, I've been a practitioner all these years, but I never worked with a deity or an entity. It was always just Ptolemaic scale, planetary magic. And when I was
remember how
there,
bright that fucking thing was? It was
and very obvious. And once I got home, and
I'm
I
gonna
had
make that fucking accessibility button on the phone thing,
in the
and all this
world,
bullshit is gonna work, or these companies will not be able to produce their devices because they're not VDA.
he didn't do it. Right now
They
we
make it like
have,
European
we're trying to make a first official temple of Hecate in Southern California.
And your wife's
I call more in Brandon Tycoon.
Pretty cool, man. Yeah, Greek Canadian. That's what I say.
Well, that's right.
Yeah, but that's where it came from.
Yeah.
And Hecate she's my breath. She's changed my life.
Does she come to you in a dream state? How does she come to you?
Well, initially
Yeah.
she came, like I was expecting it. We were literally home like not even 2 days, and it was like an image that was like right up on my bed. And that's how she first came to me. And after that, it started becoming
No way, this is
stronger.
a
And then I started learning more about her, and I studied different backgrounds. I mean, there's some really great authors.
My account?
Hecate is a big resurgence for her right now. So she's becoming a goddess that a lot of people
Okay, Doc.
She's even mentioned on
Yosh.
they mentioned her in it.
Yoshi.
Two girls mentioned her worshiping her in the moonlight. But,
Yosh.
it's just because in pop culture, she's found her way back in. And it's amazing because she's a mother of the crossroads, She was conflated later with Isis.
Too much romantic and global history.
She's one of those proto-deities, that's just older than
What
old.
the fuck? No.
Was she a witch or a
What the
god?
fuck is this?
Well, she was definitely a
Yosh.
deity. She was a titan. She was more titanic.
Let's hold
And she fought
What is this called?
to put the rest of the titans down so the Olympus gods could reign. And
This is the ultimate. This is the ultimate dog food, right? Well, all this is. God damn it, dog.
Because I teach it and I share it and it's my blood now. But
Yosh.
when Zeus saw what she did, he basically gave her the three realms, which is the Uranic realm,
Yosh. Look at this.
and the Chthonic realm, which is the underworld,
Yoshi, look at this move.
and the Horizontic or
Yoshi.
realm. And that's why
Yoshi, look at this move.
sometimes when you see Hecate,
Look.
she is depicted
Did you see that?
as three. And it's not because she's a maiden mother crone. It's actually
What in
because
the fuck?
she is
No, dog.
three of the realms of our life. But she's always
Yo,
been
dog.
young. But then when Shakespeare
Yo.
got a hold of her, he turned her into this aspect of
Yoshi.
her own life. And that spread her into being a doctor's daughter.
Yosh.
So she was very much the dark aspect, but she was never aged until much later.
Would you say, Sal, that the interest in the occult has grown over the last few years?
Come on, you fuck.
Incredibly much. I mean,
Yosh.
well, it's kind of like kind of like trends, George. It's kind of, you know, like how we see, you know, rock and roll coming down. You know what I mean? You see changes. Same thing with fashion, and like when you look at pop rock in the 70s and the resurgence in the 90s, and you know how it moves through. Your culture is like that. There's always going to be people that want another answer. And
are we going there? What the fuck?
An independent choice, a more way of looking
Yo, dog.
from another site.
Is this a thing?
All a cult has to deal with spirituality. You know, you can have spirituality involved in your occultism. Okay, and you know that word,
what the fuck?
Occult, to most people, they get it confused. Almost
I'll let your boy.
With cult.
Yo.
But anybody
Yoshi, I'll let your boy.
Occult should be hidden from view because it was arcane knowledge. That was kept from view to the masses for so many years. And that's where occultism comes from the ocular aspect, right? Occult. And but most people now see that as cult, and they think of like negatives, which are what Manson did in the 60s, you know, and so that associates them by the name, I think.
Does it bother you that people think the occult is evil?
I mean, yes and no.
I wasn't expecting the kid.
You know,
yes,
I don't think things, and I think anything should be necessarily deemed as evil or good. There is good and bad in everything, as we know. You know, and when you look at magic, you have to look at it, and I think that's okay, as in causing change with will by using the elements and the planet. Okay, when you're doing that,
yeah, just hurry the fuck up. That's all I'm saying, dog. Yo, I'd be like, what the fuck is up? Like, oh, dog. When you do this, you do your Yoshi impression way more. Hey, Mika, suck my dick. Yo, dog. Did I just see the word dystopian?
Right.
I'm not gonna lie,
It's just a Milani thing.
We want to hope that that was.
Yo, dog. Is it a person? Yo.
That these things are here. And I think that that's why people
It is working?
Because, you know, they associate it with kind of like cheating. Or mainlining into something where they don't have to go through maybe a deity to get to it. They can take on the responsibility of themselves.
What is it?
How much of
Close
it
that.
includes learning about
Close
magic?
that.
A lot of it. Well,
Oh, Christ.
when you think about magic,
Oh, my Christ.
when we use that word,
Jesus fucking Christ, dude. JFC in this bitch. Jesus fucking Christ, dog.
with a K at times.
What the
I mean,
fuck?
so usually when K is put
Yo, dog.
at the end of the word magic,
Yo.
it usually is a note to Crowley, the Golden Dawn, the OTO. These were mystery schools that came off of the Masonic lodges and the Rosicrucian systems. Right, in around 1860. That's when all that
Yosh.
and Crowley
Who's
developed
Yosh?
the K.
Captain of the soccer team. Yeah, he's my friend from college, and I do an impression of him in case anybody thinks I'm losing it. I'm not. Yosh, his name is Alex Yoshinaga. I don't think he has a middle name. So Alex, and then no middle name, Yoshinaga. That motherfucker. We lived together in a dorm in college, and he was my friend, and he still is. But we're just on hiatus, and he knows that. In his heart, I know he knows that. And so I pretend like he's here, so that I just don't sit here and I'm all quiet, because then that's boring. If I'm quiet, if I were quiet for 2 years, it'd be boring. But if I force myself into questions and then play characters, it's much more entertaining, trust me. And if you don't like it, well, no one's forced you to fucking watch it. Yo, dog. Yo, thanks for explaining that here. Now, where is the fucking thing? Oh my god. I have no fucking
I have a definite answer on.
March 14th is Pi Day.
From what I can assess, is because of the
When you going big? My grandfather's birthday, which is 320 or 321 or something.
You know,
I really think you're gonna go 320, 321. Really?
This is when the first mystery schools were coming together, and people like
Oh, I'm gonna die.
were involved, and
Yo, show me this
a lot
one.
of these esoteric spiritual orders.
Hey, dude. Yo, should be like, oh, dog. You want to allow it to do all this stuff? I'd be like, yeah. He'd be like, okay, join muted. Yeah. Like, okay, dog. Join this.
How does my kind of vision of what they thought was a person that could tell the future, and it was also trickery and
Yosh.
and
Emotes. Yosh. Look at this. Look at this. Just leave it. Leave it for days. It's just a big goddamn billboard. And really, I mean, it's like one of the best ways I've ever heard of marketing. We, as a company, market a lot and had a lot of impression. I help with the business, but they're new. But so it's the thing. I mean, nobody can ever take away from me. I was the first person to mass market American car wash shop. Actually, I'm the first person to create an on-demand car wash shop. Hold on. It wasn't. Oh wait, was it on-demand? No, that was going to be done. I was the first person to create a scheduled one, which is really what you want. Fuck it. On-demand's great, and it would be great, but scheduled is you can plan it if you can get it down. I was the first one to do a schedule, not on. You did it. I helped the team do it, but that was my idea. Really, yeah. And I can say that I fought really hardly for that. Really, oh my god, yeah, I fight every fucking day for that for like, about 3 months. It didn't take that long to get it convinced because I had people behind me who were like, dude, this kid's making so much fucking sense. What the fuck are you doing? Alright, so that thing's going. Hey, Eco, are you in this thing? See if you can see yourself. Oh, dude. You see? Okay, so then what? Oh, fuck, get me out of it. Don't join it. Now what? Do you have all the accounts and shit? Connection's tight. Oh, dude, Morongo Casino's on that one. Nice. Alright, are you done? I'm sure somebody's gonna go into like a couple of these Discords. Maybe. Maybe not. These people are cool though.
But we were brought up to wear that because evil eye was envy.
I love yours is like I love it. The fact that if you open up your fucking mouth, they're gonna kick you out. You're gonna be over here like female orgasms, and they're gonna be like 9 years old, or you're gonna be over here like UFOs, and they're gonna be like, dude, that's a clan, get the fuck out of here. Really? Yeah. But instead, you're just like enveloping them. You're like tentacles. You have tentacles. I got one live there and one live there. I don't really fucking know what's going on with that one. It looks like all right, this thing rocks. Shout out to Dream. Shout out to the fucking. What is this company? The Rob company. Really? Yeah. Like, yeah, ROTHSCHILD, baby. You're Rabbi. You're done. You're just like a match made in heaven. How's this fish done? That is the sickest thing ever. Alright, are you done? Yo, dog. They just gotta give me a lifetime supply of these. I will just, these are the best thing of all time. Unless somebody cannot do, they can, I know what happened. I endorsed it, like, their ones in the green one. I don't know. It's like an organic one. So I like the fucking Fruity Pebbles one. Give me that punch. Really? Fuck yeah. Who else do I do? Crunch? Jim? Really? Yeah, but I got a bit about fucking Lane behind a Planet Fitness on the corner of Bellflower and Lakewood in Bellflower, I'm sorry, no, on the corner of Artesia and Lakewood in Bellflower, California. Lakewood's California is number 19, and I just got a joke about fucking everybody's fucking dumpster while Jack is pounding sand inside the fucking gym. There's a Grandma's Cookies on the corner as well. There's a liquor store across the street. What the fuck is the name of that liquor store? I've never been there, but it's got a cool name. What the fuck is the name of that liquor store? It's like party store or something. What's the best name for a store? Like the party store is a really good name. They have these in Michigan, like over in this area. There's this place called the Party Store, and in this area of fucking Canada, there's the beer store. Or it's like there's one in Windsor. I've been to it. I would endorse the beer store just because I think it's hilarious. Rob, because you got great product in the beer store. Did you buy any beer there? Yeah, I did. It was the first time I bought beer, actually. So it was like, I was legal. Oh no, it wasn't the first time I bought beer. Wait, was it? Yeah. Really? Yeah. Like within ideas. Really? No, actually. I bought it with the change. Really?
I can't run.
I'm Bree Tennis from the KFI.
What in the fuck happened to your dog?
Will visit Monterey Park today, where 11 people were killed in a mass
What am I
shooting
missing?
last
Zuckerberg.
January.
What in the fuck am I missing?
Efforts to reduce gun
Yosh.
violence. A student from Lawndale has died from some type of accident during a PE class. This happened last Thursday. LA County School District has not released information as to what happened or who the student was. It happened at Lusinger High School.
It's called Lusinger? Oh my god. What a terrible name for a school. Oh my god, where did you go? Lusinger. Did anybody think about this? Doug. Doug, no one cares.
March 14th, that's the first three digits of pi, 3.14. There are deals to be had on just about anything round. Southline weather from KFI. Rain likely by mid-morning.
What the
Heavy
fuck
at
is
times
this?
with highs in the mid to upper 50s. Right now it's 57 in Orange, 55 in San Clemente. Ventura
What
checks
the
in
fuck
at
is this?
54 and it's 57 in Culver City. We leave local from the KFI 24-hour newsroom. I'm Bree Tennis.
Oh my Christ. Oh my Christ. I have to do this upside. No.
Shut down for road work until 5.
Yosh.
And in Anaheim Hills,
Yosh.
this is on the 91 eastbound
Yosh.
Imperial Highway. We have cleanup crews from an earlier truck fire taking up the 4 right lanes. You're driving backing up right now Lakeview. And in Ontario, this is eastbound from
Yosh, that's how you can. You didn't even ask. Okay, no, I just went for it. It's please, man. I do this pizza stuff. I'm doing it. Very yeah.
It filters out the chlorine and contaminants while retaining healthy minerals, and there's no filter exchange effort.
How you living, baby? Oh my god, this is suck.
I saw it. Antibacterial filter. That's worth $825. This ends March 31st. Call 800-803-2696. Visit likesourcewater.com.
Oh no, I definitely knew he was there. I was just trying to shoot him last minute, but I shot him, and
The
it just
podcast Let's Start a Coup wonders what if
There should be like, I like how none of them are watching you, but you think they're watching you. You're like, oh, la 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 la, and they're just like in their game, and you're like, oh my god, I'm so exciting to them.
retelling of one of American history's weirdest scenes.
And for you, Major General.
how am I not hitting their head?
Hey, Igor. What is it's Igor as well?
Is there something bad?
Listen to Let's Start a Coup on
shit.
the iHeartRadio app or wherever you get your
Wait, I'm confused as
It's
well.
not legit though, right? I hit her right. This is not.
I'm confused. Igor. Yo, dog, you're gonna get banned in this one. Really?
So this kid is not going to.
It's becoming one of the most popular
Yo,
channels in America. Tuning in every night for
search
Greg
viral.
Question, Rob Schmidt, Eric Bowling, Greg Kelly, and much
You're
more.
in it with somebody.
No surprise, Newsmax is
You
already
go,
the
you
fourth highest rated cable news channel and growing fast. You can get Newsmax on most
How
cable
about this
systems. Check your channel guide. Now, if you don't carry Newsmax,
You
just
go.
switch to one that does. And remember, Newsmax is also free on streaming. Just go to Samsung,
I don't know, Yosh.
Roku, Sumo,
She's
Pluto,
lagging at
Vimeo,
23 ping.
and more. Tune in. You can even download the free Newsmax app on your
I really don't
smartphone
know.
and start watching now. Millions are making the switch to Newsmax. We watch Newsmax because Newsmax
I'm not
is
gonna
real
sweat it.
news.
What are the other ones, Yosh? Roblox? Fortnite? Yosh, is it called Fortnite?
Oh, because there are people that plan their day around that. I used to have a neighbor who yelled, "I gotta go open
Oh, it's official. Okay. Calm down. I get it. There are imposters. Yo, dog, is it follow? Troll? Yosh.
Sorry.
And I love you. Let's get in this. I'm like a better looking Kenny Rogers.
Okay.
Alright, hurry the fuck up. Kenny Rogers Roasters or something. Yoshi, is it called Fortnite? Yeah, dog, get in here. I love you. Yoshi.
Okay, that's wild. That's wild. I walked into that bit. I was trying to do the stream or shit. That shit was not working.
Yoshi, oh my god, you made a fucking thing. Troll. Yoshi. Just, this one's a duo. Get in this one. Yoshi.
Do I use my wallet?
Oh, fuck. What the fuck? Yeah, dog, I agree. Yosh. 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 Oh, Christ.
Okay, that's wild.
Yo, dog.
She just
You back here, maybe? Get in here. Just sit. This is a big one, Yosh.
We shall take your calls next hour.
Yoshi, just sit. Just sit in this room.
Magic
10 minutes. Okay, you got it. You got it. Yeah, I should be like, oh, dog.
Cruising along, Tommy, we are 285 people shy of 156,000 members.
Oh, this asshole got in it.
Such a great
Okay,
way to
dog.
meet people that think like you do.
Down.
Some of us, or
Down.
whoever, would like to meet people that are 60
Yosh.
plus. If that's the case, we also
Alright,
have
down.
paranormaldate.com/seniors.
Okay, that one needs 10 minutes.
Paranormaldate.com, that's for everybody. And paranormaldate.com/seniors.
Take that shit.
Here's something to build up your immune system.
HealthyLooking.com and Dr. Alan Malay brings 4 decades of experience in natural products for the exclusive stem cell wellness kit that works with your body's stem cells to assist your immune system. Here's Dr. Malay with more.
Whether it's physical activity, obesity, diet, smoking, low on hormones, stress, sleep disorders, or your age, can be supported by reducing inflammation and aiding the body to heal itself appropriately. A stem cell is a cell waiting to be told what it needs to do. If there is inflammation,
That bitch needs 10 minutes, Yosh. See? I told you.
various types of cancer, depression,
Tom's gonna be a big fucking comedian, and I'd be like, dude, I don't think you're that funny, but the fact that you can do your comedy too, but not as big as that one fucking idiot. But Tom's gonna be Joe Rogan as a comedian. Is he funny? Never seen him.
Dr. Malay, how will I feel after taking a Dr. Stem and stem?
He's that one with the orange shirt. That's what I know.
This brain is just fucking.
That's the name of my special.
You put a dap stem along with it and mold to heal it within 30 minutes.
Yeah, it's just not when I use my all headshot her right away. And
So you were making like an idiot
while
about
she's
stem
done.
cells and will make you feel better
No,
faster. The Stem Cell Wellness Kit with a Dr. Stem and IndyStem and your free gift Relaxol is
Alright, I'm
only
gonna log in
available
just so
at
you-
healthylooking.com
can-
or toll free at 800
Yeah,
563 3980. That's 800 563 3980. Don't
I'm
forget
here
to
to
enter
Netflix,
promo
and then
code
watching
George
it
for
is
free
Netflix.
shipping. George's Stem Cell Wellness Kit at healthylooking.com. That's
Oh, shit.
healthylooking.com.
For a limited time, it's back. That 1 ounce solid silver Ghana alien coin is part of the silver starter kit just for you.
Don't you remember when they thought they were talking about you? And they weren't? Oh my god, this one hit the fucking. Don't waste it, dog. Dream, dog. Dream.
Go to bouillonmax.com/coach. Order your silver starter kit. You just don't get fantastic collector pieces that are solid silver, like an Austrian Philharmonic coin and a Britain pen. All of us know that inflation seems to be getting worse. The stock market had its worst year since 2008.
I can make you mine. It's just a
that you can store at your home. Fully
I'm a
insured.
trouble.
It's the stock market.
Dreaming my life away.
Start building your wealth.
I need you so I could die. love you so, and that is why whenever I want to, all I have to
Yo, hold up. She says she has 20 pink and a half.
I have two dogs, Sam and Bailey. Both are golden retrievers. Poor Sam, he was a mess. Always itching his paws or soaking wet all day from just constant licking. He had all the spots on his back. I just don't like putting shots and steroids into your dog all the time.
Yo, she'd be like, who's this? I'd be like, do you know your old Mikey used to like chicks? I mean, stop. Still do. But I mean, oh, that's another drink. You should like chicks. He'd be like, what change? Like, nothing, just that license. Anyway, he'd be like, huh? Yeah, that's on the back there. Anyway, I was like, yo, dog. Huh? Backtracks USA with that guy? No. But that'd be a big show. Fuck, there's a lot of glass in this shit. Yo, dog. Yo, should be like, yo, dog. Dude. Thinking. Oh, no. Ready for this, bitch?
And welcome back, Sal Santoro with us, George Norrie here. Sal, I want to tell you a story in the
George, did you see this move? What the
the
hell is that sound?
Well, the Planetary Magic app, I can't really take the credit for because
No one knows. George should be like, no one knows.
very up on
I
technology.
can make you mine,
I
taste your
know
lips
my
of wine,
I know
anytime,
Planetary Magic, I know my
night or day.
but I happen to
Only
married to
trouble
someone that is
is,
really
gee
good
whiz,
on the
I
business
dream
and technical side.
Why is this guy's
And
camera on?
she's like, what we said to me, we should try to
He's
get
cool.
this app up. And at first I was like, that's ridiculous. No one has an app. I look like
Why is this guy's camera on? I love it.
So we went for it, and she got some awesome people, and she drilled me with a lot of questions, and asked me questions about Planetary Magic, like she was in my class. And kept going, on for a couple months.
They didn't say like you're a pervert.
Brought it together and created
They haven't seen you masturbate.
and it premiered last month, and it
But
is just doing really well.
There's a TikTok.
So essentially what it is an application that we have created. So it takes the guesswork out of how
It's crazy.
do spellcraft. And when we say spellcraft, we're talking about working with the seven
Yes,
ancient planets. So the majority
Josh, did you hear? Did you hear him?
This guy is the footy.
And I'm not 100% of it, but about 90% of it, I would say, is based at least loosely on
Some of that talking about you.
named after one of
I
the
think I'm a
days of the
furry.
week. And
Wow.
every planet
What kind of furry would you be?
Kabbalah in the tree of life
An animal? Like a unicorn? Or a shapeshifter? But she doesn't count. She's like, nope, I said it. But it doesn't count. Be like, I said it. This
which would be green, which is Venus. Saturday is Saturn, and that is black. And Sunday is the sun, which is yellow or gold. So with that, you can go ahead and find Earth that also
fuck was that?
correlates to the ancient
Yo,
world.
dog. 49 seconds, dog.
As well, because every planet has
You would just be like, it was so funny when you were like had your camera open. It just literally knew that your mouth would get you. You'd be like, oh, I'd stream my life. No, that's not allowed. You'd be like, oh, go, like I spread the world peace. I'm like, you're annoying. No, but they're very nice. Why? Well, normally I'd be like, oh, Charlie Bellini, yo. Yoshi, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. Israel loves countdowns. I'm telling them right now. God, check out the chat, dog. General voice. Troll.
The petition of intent is basically the incantation. It's basically explaining
Just get in it with it.
What you want, how you want it, and how
Fight
you
it out with
word
this motherfucker.
your petition of intent will help it
Join
move
me.
along.
You think you're a troll? Dog, I'm the king of... How much would this be, like, for advertising?
I will get this much.
Way more than I got.
I make. And you write this out.
Join this bitch muted. I love how they're like, does he know his camera's on? And I'm like,
appropriate time.
Yo,
and it burns through the
are you
planetary
done?
hour and or day of the week. So that's
Yo, dog.
essentially what the app
Are you
is
done?
doing for you. And it also gives you other ways of thinking that you don't want to work with a candle. Maybe you want to work with a gree bag. You know, gree is a hoodoo term for gray, meaning it's just another form of magic.
Yo,
And a gree bag
push to talk required.
usually
Okay.
the color of the bag, the satchel bag, is planetary color.
Okay.
What's in the bag with
That's tight.
that color correlates to the
I like how that
as well
I
as
got
herbs
in here.
and oils. And then
Well,
on
there's
the
like, hey,
face
I'm
of the
trolling.
bag, with the flashing color,
The only thing that you can make it better is if you put that red thing in front of it.
And now you would build it that way. So that's another way of doing things.
That's
the other way that we've got, the third way right now is the dot. So a lot of times, they, in ancient times, they would do flat area. Kind of not exactly the same as Judaism, but it's a housing for a spell. Yeah, you download the app, you get it on the app through Apple or Google Play. And basically, you get a 3-day trial for free, then it's
Search ViralRabbi.
or $24.99 for the year. And it gives all that information, or you get it for $50. Basically, you get it for life. And some people have always got it already. So it's just very practical, and it will keep growing. We're going to keep adding to it now.
And it's planetary magic.
Your application stores. It can be on any tablet or smartphone.
Right, good work with that.
Our
One more person in this house tells me I have to leave.
curses associated with witchcraft.
Damn.
I would say, from a broad perspective, a curse done consciously by another individual is something that people would do to cause
That's
some
fucking
type
smart.
of harm or negative
Does it
interference
work?
with the person.
I'm looking. Oh my god, it does. You're in it with troll. But you're above troll. I beat their troll.
Again, I always stress this. This is my view. Okay, it's not hard fact.
Oh,
But my
they're both
view
mine.
of curses is I'd say about 92% of curses that we know or people think are cursed are self-induced in the psyche. And once those things are self-induced in the psyche, they
They
become
wrote
very real.
troll.
And to disengage from that or separate from that, people usually have to go through some type of ritual
Wait, there's
or
got to get out of this one.
action to get the subconscious mind to react to that change to stop the person happening. But is it always for somebody else? Most of the time it's
Fuck
not.
you, Yosh. You're like, ha!
Probably not at all.
I believe that. Are you saying how does it work or why does it? Well, I think that it's just like.
All right.
I mean, this is a very.
You caught me, dog. Get me out of this.
Question. You remember what it was like when you had that kid in school when you were young that was always made fun of? And they were downtrodden because of it.
They got
It was
me.
very much, and I was also one of them.
How are they able to do that?
Part of being a weird kid was about the idea of but those
Oh,
kids, they heard that so much that what does that do? That imprint on who they are. And then they live their life as a sweat. You know what I mean?
Yep.
And that's basically what and that's why it works. Because it starts to make you feel that way. That nothing should
What's my name?
It can all
Oh,
be
they can
removed.
just change it in there.
Nothing is unstoppable. And
Are they gonna block me?
or person that can give you a curse or relieve a
Troll.
curse. It is all stuff that
It's still in there.
Back then, the first maybe 2007.
and
He had all the other skeleton
Close it.
laws.
God damn it, Yosh, you're gonna block me.
in conformity with your will. Because when we do self-help, what are we trying to really do?
Yoshi,
What we're trying to do
let me in something. God damn it.
to the Clement.
There you go.
Yeah. So no, I have a lot named the Clement and my partner is named the Climbs. Model for the
I like it. Right. Do you have two guys in the same thing?
So really, why most cells don't work for people is because they don't know how to let them go. And one of the key ingredients to cell trust that works is secrecy. And secrecy doesn't mean that you're not telling people. But the reason why secrecy is so important is because if you're keeping it to yourself, you're not speaking about it. If you're not speaking about it, you're letting it set into the subconscious. If you are speaking about it, you're never letting it get there.
My life, my room,
Elf and soul in there?
What you think happened? A little kid, 10 years old, and then
you can see it from TikTok.
You.
And it being July, you have behind him a really
I think you got it. No. Yo.
like a helicopter. And then like a really shitty tiger comes and they kill him. And my life, my rules, my style, my attitude.
And they took two of the apartments and combined it into one big place. And then they rented out the other 8. And right on top of it was the furniture store underneath.
Well, fuck it.
And
my rules, my style, my attitude.
All over the place.
Hey, you a coward.
2 huge apartments combined. So they had an upstairs level and a regular.
Wait, no. This one needs to go to this one. Roblox.
There was a fire in the
Josh.
furniture store. Somebody had set a fire in there.
Josh, did you click it?
The smoke was coming up, and going
Josh,
into the apartment that we were in. I'm on the middle level. The others were upstairs in other bedrooms. And I get woken up by a fire department. He's got his helmet on, he's got a mask on, and he's wearing, firefighter boots and the slipper. And he wakes me up and he says, you need to get up. You need to get up now and get it.
Elf and troll.
And I went around the house waking people up with
Josh.
him. And we got everybody out.
Are you in here or something?
And they got the fire
Who's in here? Josh.
Everything was fine.
Looks like two
There was
people.
a picture of me in the picture of Sentinel newspaper.
Josh.
Running across the street at 3 in the
Of course, it's going to be an
morning,
asshole. Yoshi.
as a 10-year-old. Anyways, we're all outside. Family's outside. Fire department was downstairs in the furniture store. My dad decided he's going to go thank the fire chief because this fire department guy who woke me up saved all of us. And as he went up to the fire chief, he introduced himself and said,
That's the guy with the defunct chin.
One of your people who got in there. We just want to
But
thank
the
you.
nerve!
Him. Where is he? The chief said,
I think that was like a little movie
Leave
that
it.
they made that.
Just
The
leave
one,
Elf
the
and troll.
movie.
upstairs trying to get the
If
fire
they don't
out.
let you do that, and like hundreds of thousands of people in this fucking thing, go for it.
Oh,
Let me see.
who was
Chromosome.
that?
He's the only guy.
I think it was like the guardian angel or something.
Well, I completely
Yo, dog.
agree with that. I mean, that is a very emotional, serious thing. That's a very
Punch.
sensitive spirit. And God
Okay,
knows
how's this
how
thing
it-
working?
Yeah, I don't. This is leading to, do I believe that something
Oh,
of
this is
that
horseshit.
nature?
This wedding is horseshit.
Well, I do.
That's exactly what I would have said if I fucked her wedding.
I mean, what might call it
Dude,
entity or
nevertheless.
an angel or
I would have said
some
I
of the
fucked her
spirit
wedding.
realm in the ancient people of the demons. Not
This whole
demons,
place
but
is
demons,
Rashonda.
demons. Any of these entities that they come in and make these things happen. I mean,
Are you done?
that is a very powerful experience.
Who sends that empathy to us?
I believe that I don't think that everybody has that ability to get that. Obviously you've gone on to be somebody that is super important to so many people, but if you have whatever that entity was, or however that got to you, there was a reason behind that.
Yeah, should be like, but what if you get banned with those?
Bring all this to people
It's fine.
today.
Who cares?
Why?
Because those ones are really important ones. Those.
That's what I would take from that. Being the person that
said together, they are like, you know, people don't sit down, they are like very cool, you know. They love everybody.
Plus, right? Hey, dog, did you know you're cool? It was like, oh my god. So it's robots. Sleepy time teeth. Sleepy time teeth.
They're motherfuckers, you know, how made them.
It's very much like the Sumerian gods and the
Self
gods of Asia
control.
Minor.
Oh yeah, that's very possible.
Yeah, and I think that has a lot to do with that correlation that you experienced.
Search
I
for
think
Rabbi.
that's where that connection comes in.
And why disappear?
That's cool that it's elf control, though. Tiger. Oh, they changed hers as well.
Maybe he was really never physically there.
Exactly. It was a
Control.
manifestation to
They
keep
didn't ban
you
me.
up and moving and on the path
Who's
where
this
you are
bitch?
today.
She got changed as well.
Everything's laid out for us.
She's
That's
some,
what the
she's
faith
some
is.
hot
That's
Asian
what the
bitch.
Moray does. That,
Really?
that's apropos to lucky
I mean, he seemed real.
Yeah.
For what I can remember, but maybe
No,
he was never
then she's
there.
not as hot.
But I mean,
She's hot if
just
she's
because
Asian.
it's not
Why
tangibility
exotic,
anymore
dude?
doesn't
This
mean
bitch
it's
has
not.
been
He was
exotic.
never there to
She's
give it, right?
bitch
He
from
totally was
Buffalo.
there.
Anyway, are you done?
That was a real entity, and
Oh yeah.
it did its work. Thank God, and thank you're
Sits,
here.
it's right there.
And so
Self
many
control.
people
What the
don't
fuck
get
is
that,
this? And then you get in it, and it's like, oh,
That's a beautiful story.
We're going to take your calls next hour with Sal Santoro as we
Yo,
talk
dog.
about the occult, about witchcraft, about his covens, about magic, of course.
Station 1.
And
And then it was like, hey, you
How'd I
want to
do
talk?
on that?
I wonder if you can look up. What is this?
Sounds good to me. Definitely.
Guinness,
We're talking about some cool books too. Definitely
Live
there's some
streaming.
authors that are out there that people should check out.
All right, we'll do that too. Since you've been doing this, what has been for you the most gratifying thing you've been doing?
It's very smart. It's very
I
smart
would
of you to
say
do this, kid.
definitely, giving people the chance to experience
Find an
stuff and magic.
NFT.
Experiencing the learning to cut change and
What's the biggest
conforming
NFT
to
crypto
their will,
punks?
understanding that they can do this, that they don't need to depend on anything else.
Like with a Z?
And
Isn't it like a
detest
bitch?
gatekeepers.
It's like that.
Award-winning show.
I'm not under this
Film on me.
idea that only certain things should go to some people. I believe that people should learn and they should have a foundation. But I also believe that that can be for all of them. And what I've done is I've given people a chance
Yoshi.
at having other ways of looking at life and moving through it. And if
React
I
to your
encourage
emoji,
you in
get
day
your
one of my
wall.
classes. Nothing from my class, one
Oh, cool,
today,
dog.
then I've done my job.
I did.
Let's talk more about these classes as well, Sal, when we come back and take calls with you on Coast to Coast AM.
Find out more about tonight's guest. Log on to coasttocoastam.com.
Yeah, queer for guns, Republican gates, you know.
Wait, so it's like now they're missing or they have
site, you know, one month.
Spring getaway. This month gets 40% off Rosetta Stone's lifetime
What do you
unlimited
think, dog?
and explore the world
Well,
with
you're in this.
bite-sized lessons in
Scroll
25
down.
languages, from Spanish and German to French and
Piss
Korean,
off
and
everyone.
even Portuguese and Turkish. Rosetta Stone
No one's
prepares
here
you for real-life conversations
Yoshi.
and having practice from your parents for
Yoshi.
example. So visit RosettaStone.com today for 40% off and get ready
Yoshi,
for the
god
best
damn
of
it.
a lifetime. Offer ends March 22nd.
God damn
Rosetta
it.
Stone, the language
The
and
Norse!
Oh, good times are waiting on St. Patty's Day. Yeah, and Irish folk singer to my list of talents. And now the top 5 reasons to visit Chicago.
Yoshi. What happened? What happened? Yoshi.
Number 4,
Yoshi. Hey, Ray Dong Chong.
the 20th through 21st.
3,
Yes, join me. No one's here yet. I thought it said you're loaded. It says you're loaded on this call. You get me.
and the number 1 reason.
Oh, dog. Yeah, it should be like double time. QWE. 1, 2, 3. Psych.
Morongo Casino Resort and Spa. Morongo. Good
Morongo.
For everybody. Games live from the Hayes bedroom. It's another eventful night for some serious Ron. Steve has been struggling with his CPAP. That's why Michelle's trying to get Steve a raise. Michelle throws an elbow.
Michelle throws an elbow.
Steve should get inspired. Absolutely, Bruce.
Look at this move.
Sleep apnea treatment that gives you comfortable restful sleep with the click of a remote. There's no mask and no
shit.
Just learn more at
Log out.
inspired.com.
Inspired is not for everyone. Talk to your doctor to see if it's right for you
Log in.
using important safety information at inspiresleep.com.
KFI live everywhere on the iHeartRadio app.
Free-range, non-genetically modified, handcrafted, artisanal, gluten-free, stimulating talk.
I'm really surprised they didn't kick you out. You're literally just sitting there. I know, I'm very proud of you.
Biden in SoCal. I'm Bree Tennis in the KFI.
Jesus fucking Christ.
President Biden will visit
I swear to God, I have to
today,
check my email
where
100
11
fucking
people were
times a
killed
day.
in a mass shooting back in January.
I don't know who thought this was a good idea, but that person should be executed.
Ride-sharing companies like Lyft and Uber can continue to treat their California drivers as independent
Yosh.
contractors. The ruling upholds a voter-approved law called Proposition 22, and these drivers are not entitled to benefits like sick leave or unemployment. The state has canceled all salmon fishing from Oregon to the U.S.-Mexico border due to the drought, they say, to protect the remaining fish population. Hollywood says the Oscars were a success. Viewership was 18.7 million. That's up about 12%, according to the Nielsen ratings from last year. Orange County Fairgrounds taking a bit of a nip and tuck over the next 10 years. The facelift starts with a $25 million expansion to administration building. They say it's an 8-phase plan and will cost $222 million to complete. Another atmospheric river pushing into SoCal.
Hey, unusual
We can expect
detective.
heavy rain by afternoon, staying
Please
with us
don't
well into
verify.
Wednesday. National
Fuck
Weather
you.
Service says an inch and a
Yosh,
half
what
to
is
3
this?
inches of rain expected for the coast and valley,
Search,
up to 6
blah, blah,
inches
blah,
of
blah.
water for the mountains.
Count. Look at this one.
Flashlight and have plenty of fresh
Dude, Yosh, I psyched everyone out.
That was Aaron Scott with Mission Super Hardware in San Gabriel. He also suggests getting sandbags. Kraft
I'll
Heinz
give you
will now
sandbags,
provide
girl.
ready-to-eat Lunchables for
Call
school lunch
these
program starting
nuts.
this fall. They'll offer 2
Come on,
varieties
baby.
with improved nutrition.
Are you
and the
done?
Lunchables
What's
sold in
your
stores.
count
And
profile
today
look
is
like?
Pi
Is
Day,
it
March
all fucked
14th.
up?
That's
Is it
the first
crazy?
rebound anything round. Southbound weather from KFI. Rain is
These
pushing in,
kids.
likely by
Are you
mid-morning,
done?
very heavy by afternoon,
These
but highs in the mid to upper 50s. Right now it's 57
Are you
degrees
done?
in Stanton. Laguna Beach has
They
56,
should do like
53
breast
for Studio
augmentation
City,
at like
and 55 in Redlands.
cheaper
Really
to do.
local from the KFI 24-hour
Tight.
newsroom.
Why
I'm
is
Bree
National
Tennis.
Pie Day? Oh no! Oh, it should be your tits. It should be your cooch. That fucking the Mitzi Shore special where you get it all tight. That's what you need. Pie Day. He's the right semester. Are you done? Low key wannabe. Hey, cool dog. Gosh, you're like, oh dog, here's my violin. Low key wannabe. Let's go for it. See everybody going. And troll health. Weatherman
Looking
broadcast.
to invest in real estate as a way to diversify, hedge against inflation, and receive consistent quarterly cash
Troll.
distribution? With First
Somebody write
National
troll.
Realty Partners, you'll get access to commercial
Oh.
real estate investments
Oh.
that are reserved only for elite private
Oh.
institutions.
Oh,
You'll enjoy
sure.
all the benefits of fully passive real estate ownership, like tax write-offs, limited liability structures, quarterly cash
Yo, dog,
distribution, and
welcome.
the potential for upside at exit. First National Realty
Neon Game
Partners has
set me in front
thousands
of
of
us.
investors who collect rent from national brand tenants like Walmart, Target, Whole Foods, Publix, and many more. Call 888-301-9010. That's 888-301-9010.
Are you done?
Or
My
go
friend
to
will be like, oh my god, he's
fnrtradio.com.
lost.
That's fnrtradio.com. Choose your
Oh, dog, remember when
passive
this was a
commercial real
thing?
estate
And it was like,
investment
oh,
deals. Securities
dog,
are only available to
New
third-party
Zealander or some shit. Anyway, that one's not working. That one's not
cash
working.
distributions are not guaranteed.
We
Any
got two
representations
more.
made about investment stability reflect
I don't know.
FNRP's strategy
Oh,
and may or may
maybe
not be
there.
realized. Visit fnrtradio.com. I'm attorney Darren Capanoki, founder of 1-800-NO-COPS, reminding you to exercise your right to just shut up. It doesn't make you look guilty, it makes you look smart. 1-800-NO-COPS, because no one will take handcuffs unless you're into that sort of thing. 1-800-NO-COPS.
One of America's most
Are you done?
popular news channels is Try Newsmax and discover why the left is trying to silence their voice. For good reason. It's becoming one of the most popular channels in America. Tuning in every night to
18+,
Greta
baby.
Van Susteren, Rob Schmidt, Eric Bolling, Greg Kelly, and much more. No surprise, Newsmax is already the 4th highest rated cable news channel and growing fast. You can get Newsmax on most cable systems. Check your channel guide.
Now, if they don't carry Newsmax, you switch to one that does. And remember, Newsmax is also free on streaming. Just go to Samsung Plus, Roku, Zumo, Pluto, Vizio, Apple, and more to tune in. You can even download the free Newsmax app on your smartphone and start watching now. Millions are making the switch to Newsmax.
How many people
We
are
watch
here?
Newsmax because Newsmax is real news for real people.
The fuck this guy with his hand? A robot. Trust me. Cheating. Cheating.
Visit youcanbeatit.org or call 833-422-4255 to ask for medication to treat COVID-19. Sponsored by the California Department of Public Health. In this week's Marketers Report, Patrizia Spaniello, Global Chief Marketing Officer, Direct-to-Consumer for Warner Brothers Discovery, weighs in on building trust.
You are
Trust
fucked.
is a really hard thing to build and a really easy thing to destroy, and we have to be very respectful about that. Our partnership with iHeart has really helped us build that trust and that relationship with the on-air talent.
As the #1 audio company, iHeartMedia gives marketers access to the audiences, conversations, trusted influencers, insights, and data you need to grow. Go to iHeartResults.com for more.
Remember when you
This
clicked
is
it?
Jacob Emron. If you've been in a truck accident, call 844-24-JACOB.
Or news? Merchant.
KFI AM 640. KFI AM 640. More stimulating talk.
Man, I'd like to see fucking Janet Yellen's coach on a fucking copy machine print out big bills. Cooch. That used to be a thing because they don't do it anymore. A lot of people got fired for taking pictures of their ass and leaving it in the fucking copy machine when it first came out. It was like, oh my god, it's amazing. Really, yeah. I bet some people were like, no one ever found out who it was. Oh, that was a big thing. When the fucking copy machine came out. People go crazy shit. And then people break the glass by sitting on it. Yeah.
To talk to George,
How'd you lose your job?
call the wildcard line at
I sat on the glass and broke it.
818-501-4109. The first time caller line is 818-501-4721. To talk toll free from east of the Rockies,
Roche, are you done?
800-825-5033.
Oh my god.
From west of the Rockies, toll free, call
What's he got on the fucking agenda?
818-8255. To reach George
Time
via
to-
Skype, use Skype name George97313. Send George
All right,
a text message anytime at 818-298-6111.
I think it's just charged though.
From the City of Angels, this is Coast to Coast
Yo,
AM
dog.
with George Norrie.
In this
Doesn't
hour,
water
we'll take
any
your
fruits.
calls with Sal Santoro as we talk
Is there
about
already water?
witchcraft and magic and the
Yeah,
occult.
this is
Jump aboard.
crazy boy.
It's so important to
Look,
understand
this
how
one.
cybercrime and identity
one has
theft
water
are
over there.
affecting our lives. Your personal information gets
This one
exposed
doesn't.
so often, making it dangerously easy for a cyber
This one
criminal to
does.
steal that identity. Protect your
Sure looks
identity,
like it.
and it can be easy with
Right.
LifeLock by
You done?
LifeLock
Yeah, sure.
detects
Are
and
you done?
alerts you to
Oh, shit.
potential identity
Yeah, this one
threats that
doesn't
you
want.
may not spot on your
Oh
own.
my god, look at that.
Loans taken out in your
Look
name.
at that,
If you do
kids.
become a victim of identity
Got a
theft,
bubble in there?
a dedicated
Dude.
U.S.-based restoration specialist will
It's
work
very
to fix
good.
it. No one can prevent
has a
all
lot,
identity
man.
theft or monitor all transactions at all businesses, but it's easy to help protect yourself with LifeLock.
If you get this
Identity
thing
theft
hot,
protection starts here. Join now, save up to
fire,
25% off your first year with promo code George. And then call 1-800-LifeLock or head on over to lifelock.com, use promo code George, and take advantage of that 25% off. Marvelous Entertainment and
Marvelous.
Sunderland have released the newest in action adventure science fiction that specifically
Yosh.
deals with the question, are we alone in the universe? This action-packed drama includes a 7-novel masterpiece, comic
Children
books,
and
video
babies
games, and movies of Sergeant Waggett's journeys across the universe. Get 20% off the entire 7-novel series and all future graphic novels. Enter coupon code Coast to Coast, all lowercase on marvelous.com. That's MARVALEOUS.com. For a limited time, it's back. The 1-ounce solid silver Ghana alien coin, part of the silver starter kit, exclusively at bullionmax.com/coast. With inflation on the rise and the teetering stock market, now's the time to diversify into precious metals that you can store at your home. Go to bullionmax.com/coast and they'll ship your silver directly to your home, fully insured. Now start building your wealth in precious metals at bullionmax.com/coast. That's And welcome back to Coast. George Norrie with you, Sal Santoro with us. Sal, tell us about your annual conference and your witchcraft program.
Oh, wow. So we do an annual conference. Actually, it's annual now, you're right. We did the first two back home, actually, in a little town in Massachusetts called Orange. Now, for people that are from that area, it's probably about 45 minutes from Worcester. It kind of almost pops up on the New Hampshire line. Yeah. And Orange, Massachusetts, one of my really good friends had purchased a mansion with 20 rooms in it from 1880. Wow. And she stripped it down and just revamped it and built in all the bedrooms and to make them look like they originally did. And it was actually a place where the Daughters of the Eastern Star would go before they passed away.
Was it haunted?
Yes. It was very haunted. It was actually Patty Negri comes with us both times. She's done it twice with me now.
Okay.
And we are there and we have a series of teachers coming in, and it's called oh my God, I'm so sorry. Symposium Custodium. Okay. And what that means, it's a symposium of the Chthonic realm. The Chthonic realm is the realm of the underworld in Greek mythology, which is where Hecate resides in one of her aspects. And so what we've got going on there is some great authors teaching classes. So I brought in three of my favorite people for some modern books that are out there on Hecatean witchcraft specifically. One is Jeff Cohen, who wrote Liber Chthonica, and it's a very modern a modern book on Hecatean witchcraft and how you can become involved and work with her.
Are you done?
It's a really
Hey,
good
look at
book.
this.
Him and his husband and his sister come out, and they also teach. And then I brought in Jack Grail, and Jack Grail is the author of a really great book that nobody can get their hands on because it keeps selling out, called The Hackathon. And that deals with the inner workings of Hecate and working with 27 of her epithets. And the epithets to Hecate are very
racial
attributes or aspects of her. And so that he comes in and he teaches. And then we also have an amazing teacher. Someone that I've taken classes from myself named Jason Miller. And Jason Miller has
where's the
an
fucking
amazing
thing?
website called The Sorcery of Hecate, or Strategic Sorcery, either one you can get to it. And Strategic Sorcery is all of his classes. And they came in and they speak on Hecatean work and different aspects of working with her. And then we have like two rituals that we run that people can get involved in. And then Patty Negri runs a psychic mediumship night where she runs a table. And it's just a beautiful, amazing event. So that's
and then the Witchcraft 101 program, that's your regular.
That's my regular class. So that's my staple. About every 12 to 14 weeks, a new one starts. And it's 10 weeks. So I have taken my own constructs of my teachings that I've learned back in the 80s and early 90s, and I brought them down to give people a basic understanding of how to set up safely a space and consecrate it deity, whatever deity they work with, or no deity at all. It depends on them. And they do this class over 10 weeks. And through the 10 weeks, they get to know one another. There's usually anywhere between 10 and up to 30 people in the class. And they go through that class over 10 weeks. And on the 10th night, they actually run an entire ritual themselves. And it's just become a huge success.
Good for you. Let's take some calls. You're lining up for you. Let's go to Brian in Indianapolis to get things started. Hello, Brian.
Hey, George, how are you this morning?
Wonderful. Thank you.
Hey, good. Hey, listen, I'll make this real quick. Couple things. That's an awesome picture, you and Tommy and
with Pat Boone?
Pat Boone that you had up on the carousel last week.
Thank you.
Listen, number two, I didn't know your dad was in the Battle of Bulge. That's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
I'm stationed over in Mannheim, West Germany. It's Vanilla Barracks, man, 81 to 83. So I've been to a lot of these places, Ludendorff Bridge and Vermont. Just thank you can't thank your dad for service, but man, that was a great generation.
It sure was.
Hey, now, yes, now your dad.
Yes, sir.
Said he was in the raid on the ball bearing factory in Regensburg, huh?
Yes, sir. He was in the 8th Air Corps. He was a bombardier on the Norton bomb site in the B-24.
Awesome, man. I mean, next time you see him, shake his hand for me and tell him.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much.
Well, he's up in the hundreds, so it's amazing.
I know, that's what I heard. I've been to Regensburg too. I've been all over Germany when I was stationed over there. But as I'm sitting here holding, I really wanted to tell you that, man, because that's pretty awesome. But my question is, I'll make it quick. These schools, after-school groups now are starting to form that want to worship Satan and witchcraft, and you're having a lot of pushback from parents and other students about that. How would you go about defending or trying to convince them that this is something that would be safe and knowledgeable or educational for the kids?
I don't believe that kids that are under the age of 18 should be making those decisions, and I think that is the individual parents that have those children that should be making those decisions for them. I mean, it's always great that people are inquisitive and want to understand, but at a delicate age like that, I don't think that they're developed enough to be stepping into a nihilistic approach of life. They're beginning. They should be learning to love life and the beauty that it holds. And I'm not saying that all Satanists feel that it's a bad thing. Satanism appear in movies and TV, but I definitely don't think that that's something that children need to be dealing with, unless it's something that parents are bringing them in and explaining it to them in their own personal system.
And not all practitioners of witchcraft are Satanists.
Not at all. Synthesis. Because a lot of people that practice witchcraft usually just look at the old gods that live in the different parts of the world. In that system, Satan wasn't even a developed entity.
Next up, let's go to Joe in Marion, Illinois. Welcome to the show. Hi, Joe. Go ahead.
So I was
How are y'all doing tonight? Wonderful.
The class.
I call part of the show because I'm living on the regular
my cousins.
Just fast on different parts. When I was little, like 6 years old, that's my parents' divorce. My mother ended up taking basically a woman beater out of the home.
So I thought it was because of the cars next to me. All van right like to my side with the drivers, and I fucking took so drift.
Dreaming it over and over.
I was like, it's okay, I was facing there was someone, and I was like, no, you guys could have died.
All these years, my mother passed away when I was 8. I had this feeling that the lady died. I'd always say, well, God took your mother. So I was starting to get into church.
They were like, oh, I feel like we were
things.
in a movie. I was
When I
like, this is
fell on
not
my head,
funny. Like, they were like,
I was
how actually.
hospital and I heard this voice several times. So don't worry, my son, I'm with you.
And then
Then later on in life, when I got shot, because I thought my second wife sat around on me, I ended up in the hospital. Who shot you?
Other people, exactly.
My wife's boyfriend. Oh my God.
Like,
and
I'm gonna actually like kill
so
myself.
when I ended up in the
If I screw your
hospital,
class, I'm actually
I heard this voice telling
or
me,
they were just like
don't
trying
worry,
to
my
make
son,
it
I'm with you.
be better, feel
Well,
make
a
me feel
little bit
better, but I was
later
like,
after that, I dated this girl from Florida.
One dumbass walked in with like two walked in with guns. Like, that is cool, you know.
Ever since then, and I dated her, I never was ever able to get where I see my guardian angel or any spirit or anything like that. It's like, oh, that's a good place, but I still have dreams and I still have like 3D images of how everything happened. I always think when I was 7 years old.
If that little entity doesn't come
My
to see
classmates.
Right. So I don't know if he had anything to
Yeah.
do with it. Or if it was just
Well,
like
he
that
did
now
was
that I've gotten
what
older.
being Muslim is like. I was just like, well,
I don't
tell you
think it was
this.
that he had those
And then he
ideas
was like,
definitely.
well, my Muslim friend doesn't do that. And I was like,
From what you're
well,
saying,
she's not my
done
responsibility.
was
She's on her own. I don't really.
put a shielding around you
It's
so
none
you
of our
wouldn't
business.
get that anymore. But don't let
Yeah,
that
exactly.
stop you. You can
Exactly.
get
I was like,
that back. That no
She's
one
like,
has
well,
power to
she
take that
drinks,
from
and
you.
I'm like, well,
Whatever. I'll just
none of our
do that.
business.
I would do some
Yeah.
meditations on it. You'll
I
spend
don't
time
know.
with
That's
yourself.
cool.
And I'm not looking at any spell work or anything, but
Coordinating
really
me. I don't know.
just go
Like,
for
I'm
it.
not.
You can find that back because that voice is going to be there for
It's
you.
like,
And
literally,
that person will not
this is
succeed
just like,
if we
he
don't
literally
let them.
had like a
It
Polaroid
sounds
of
like
her
she's
on his
scared
face. And
the
he was like, this is
entity
her.
away.
She was like a secret boyfriend too. And I was like, why are you
Just
telling me all
to feel
this?
that.
going on with you?
And
Why you
to stop them. And it's not that you're being
Yeah,
very selfish
because I was like,
by making that
because you
action.
asked,
And that's not very respectful to do to someone.
And it worked for her.
no, he, dude, he's
Sure.
non-Muslim.
Magic
Like, he's not
does
even.
work. You know, that's one of the things I
He's
tell
just like
a lot. You have to look at magic, and I mean this very truthfully when I say this. And some people don't like that I use this as an analogy, but I'm going to. Magic and spellcraft is like a gun.
Because he wanted to meet up for
Okay, it's
schoolwork
like a
and
loaded
stuff for
gun.
our
You
public
have
speaking
walking
class.
it into a
And
place,
we
and you
just
have a
ended up just
loaded
being a
gun
whole
sitting on a table.
conversation about
It's
like,
not
oh,
going to do
it's
anything but sit there and collect
fucking
stuff.
Army has deep.
Now,
I
if
know
you
for a
put your
fact
hands
he's
on
not
the gun,
really
it becomes mobile, and then it
he's
becomes
illegal shit
Your
on
fingers
the
go
30.
in and it's start fumbling around,
on the
the gun's gonna
special
go off.
quid force, you know?
But if you know how to take the round out of the gun
yeah, like,
and make it inert,
Oh,
Yeah.
Gabe would.
the safety of
Yeah,
it.
he's
So
on the
the point is that you have to treat it as it's very well worked. And then when you know it works for so many of us. Some of us are like, oh, it doesn't work. It's not real. That's okay. They can believe that because it helps
that's why I
us keep
disabled.
moving.
Joe in the Bronx, take it away.
Yeah, 7.
Yours, how are you?
On another one. He's still up.
Good,
From
good.
this right.
Yeah, so,
Bro, I hate him.
yeah, I
It pisses me off.
Oh, nice.
well, a
So-
relative by marriage on my grandfather's
Nice.
side,
Very
who
nice.
was Princess Sophia. She was of the